ラザー、早くしなさい。オーケー。Let's go!
This is an outrage.
I'm up here.
Everybody sit down.
Greetings, Colonel.
I said sit down! Now, you know how I don't like to use the sit-down gun, but this morning we just don't have time for mucking about. Major Allied cities have come under attack.
Nazis?
Close your mouth.
Hello, and welcome back to the channel. TUESJAYS, we're back. We're doing stuff, and we have today what might be not the most important video of the week, but the most important video of your life and mine. Let's jump into it. Let's fucking go. Now we're gonna slide over here. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself, Jay. That is a lot of hype. Is that hyperbole? Is that what I do here? Am I hyperbolic? Do I look hyperbolic to you? I don't think so. So, you know, let's just get right here. Like, let's just say to ourselves, yes, let's open our hearts to Terry Moore and see what he has to say on this very seminal and important topic. Let's go, everybody.
Pencil sharpeners. You ever thought about it? If you've walked into an art store, and
I know I have.
You'll see almost half an aisle of just pencil sharpeners.
Damn.
And you look at them and you think, well, I guess they're just all the same. And you just pick the color you like or the size you like or whatever.
You know?
I mean, why not just get this little 30-cent one right here?
The world's your oyster.
The point that it makes. Isn't that good enough?
That's majestic. That is a point.
For most things it is. But as the more you draw, the more you get opinionated about the pencil you draw with and the point that you're using.
Yeah, he's making a good point about points.
That point looks impressive.
It's a nice
math homework with it.
It's a nice point. You know what I'm saying?
But all you have to do is draw with this for about a minute, and that point goes away, and you're back to a stub like that.
Damn.
And the stub starts making wider lines. And if you're working on details like the iris of the eye, the hair, things like that, or you're drawing very small figures.
Braces.
You want to keep the point as long as possible. Now you're drawing with a pencil in one hand and your sharpener in the other hand the entire time. And you're constantly getting your point, right, to get it back.
What's a boy to do, am I right?
And that's kind of what this is. And I thought, well, maybe we'll take a look at these. Maybe I can save you some time and some money by letting you see exactly how each sharpener, what it produces. And that's what it's about. What do these produce? Some of them look really great, like this one.
Wow.
But I'll tell you right now, this one has this inside of it. So this one makes the same short, very sharp point that's going to be gone in about a minute.
Damn, he's bringing the heat.
That's a shame because I really like this one. It looks cool. I keep it around just because it's pretty. But it's no different than this.
It's a simple
It
man.
costs 30 cents.
Damn.
The only difference is that'll catch the shavings.
Mm-hmm.
But
why don't we catch the shavings onto you? You know what I'm saying?
so will this. So yeah. Do you want to spend, I think that was like $15 for that.
Wow. Wow.
Or just spend 35 cents. And to hell with where the shavings go. You're in your studio.
Yeah.
You're in the airport.
Let the shavings fall where they may.
You're conscientious. You do it over your piece of paper and then keep dumping the paper.
Wow.
And you keep that point. I got my first tattoo when I was, how old was I? 8.
Damn.
I think I was 8 years old when I got my first tattoo.
He was in prison at 8 years old.
I was like 13 years old when I got my second one. Yeah, that's how we roll here.
That's how we roll.
My first tattoo.
He's rolling deep in the streets.
See that little, there it is.
That little dot.
That is a sharp pencil. And I was sitting at my desk and I just sharpened it and I was testing it out and I was poking against my hand like that. And suddenly I poked too hard and ow! And I looked and I had a pencil dot there and it never went away. I gave myself a tattoo with the lead underneath my skin. So in 7th grade,
this is some real boomer unk shit.
How it works. I was telling my sister that, and we were sitting across the table from each other, and we had our pencils. We were doing our homework, and I showed her my tattoo, and I told her I just did it by stabbing myself with a pencil, and she reached over and said, "You mean like this?" And she did it to my other thumb, and there it is.
Damn.
So yeah.
He got that lead in them. Some people got that dog in them. He got that lead in them.
2 tattoos before I even hit high school.
Damn, he's from the streets.
So you have to be careful with your sharp pencil. Don't go just jabbing yourself. Don't jab your friends, and don't have it like this.
I try not to jab my friends.
And then suddenly, and then you poked yourself in the eye with it, and now it's stuck in the eye. And you got an emergency room. They got to. All right, careful with these things. The sharpener is basically turning this into a ninja weapon. And there are a lot of great scenes in Japanese action movies about how you can take a simple pencil or a pen. The coolest one I've seen probably was a guy was being attacked, and he grabbed somebody's...
hey, it's Tak Sakaguchi.
And he field stripped it as he's walking towards the attacker and dodging his bullets. He field strips it and then takes the magazine, starts popping the ammo out of the magazine until the magazine's empty. Then he takes somebody's metal pen, jams it into the magazine.
Mm-hmm. That was a good movie.
The guy and shoots it out of the magazine, and it kills the guy. Just a little safety tip there. Don't let anybody empty their gun.
Yeah, that's his grill. He's from the streets. He's had 2 tattoos by the time he was 13, Noah.
You never know. They might be a ninja. It may work. Hey, just a quick word that on Wednesday, we have another Warehouse Finds drop coming on our website. This is where we're getting really cool things from our archives and putting them up for sale because I'd rather you have them than me keep them in a box. So there's a lot of cool things that are coming up, like there's, prelims such as this.
Those are called sketches. Yeah.
Of a commission sketch.
Yeah.
This is just prelims that I drew for commissions and things like that. There's a prelim for the trigger warning cover where I was figuring out the Kachu's pose. These are a lot cheaper than getting a sketch or something. Those are available. Also, we have really cool vintage magazines.
Hey, what's going on, A1?
Comic-Con 1994 convention thing.
That's cool.
And there's an article back there, of course, but I'm going to include this in there. This is really cool. Do you know what you missed in 1994 in Toronto? They had a panel right here. They had a panel on storytelling in black and white with Jay Stevens, Alex Ross, and David Mazzucchelli. My God, that was a panel everybody wanted to go to. The Vertigo Showcase with J.M. DeMatteis, Chris Bacallo, Jill Thompson. Oh my God.
Oh, he solved the Bacallo Bacello mystery.
And, Stephen Rumman. Man, just really cool stuff. Steve Rude's storytelling panel. Yeah, really cool. That will be in here waiting for you in the back of the convention. This will be in the warehouse finds drop. Yeah, and that's not all. I've got one here from 1995. Germany was one of the first foreign language versions that we had, and this is the German comics magazine Speedline. We got the cover, yay.
Yes, this is live.
And, a nice big article in there.
I said hello, A1.
And there's just something so...
I didn't just program into the stream.
Why wouldn't she? I've been cut you. And here is a very rare item here. Co-cut distribution was one there. Co-cut distribution was one of the many distributors we had back in the heyday of the indie movement. At one point, we had as many as 21 comic distributor choices, and then it got down to 18, then less and less. Comic co-cut distribution was very indie friendly, and here's one of their order catalogs from 1996. You would go through as a retailer and pick what you wanted to order. Very cool, huh?
Classic.
And just one more example of the magazines. Here's one from 1997, the Comics Journal. I think it's the only time I ever made it inside this. This is the holy grail of indie comics back in the day. It was an honor to be in there. Seth drew the cover, and Seth got the big article. But right after Seth, the backup band, there. Big article on Strangers in Paradise in there. So yeah, cool things in the warehouse finds. Check it out on Wednesday at our website. This will be like the fourth one we've done. There's that, old comics, old merchandise, things like that. Check it out. On August 18th, we have a new Kickstarter launch.
Back in the day.
This will be for the new comic one-shot Echo, and the title of the comic is Pandora's Box.
Oh, that's cool.
It's from the Echo storyline. This is not a prequel. This is kind of a sequel. This is 1 year later, catching up with Julie and Annie and seeing what's going on and how they're adjusting to life together. And by together, I mean really together. Yeah, it's one cool thing that we're going to do here is we're also going to launch our a campaign on Zoop, the other alternative choice for
the other white meat.
So you can check us out on Kickstarter and Zoop. Kickstarter will get one cover for this comic. Zoop will get a different cover for this comic.
What? He's not excited about Back Me Bro?
And
what about Indiegogo? Indie Bro Bro.
I spent the last couple of weeks.
He's not Canadian, A1.
At first, I drew this one, then I drew this one, and I thought I'm going to try one more time.
He just happened to have a thing at a Canadian show.
And here is what it looks like in color. There's a red version and a blue version. The red version goes to Kickstarter. The blue version goes to Zoop.
Damn.
So yeah, check it out. That's going to launch on August 18th on one of those two locations, Kickstarter or Zoop. And it will launch at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Don't miss it. This is going to be a good one, guys. I'm almost finished penciling all the entire story, and it is so bloody cool. I've really enjoyed working on this. So check it out. Pencil sharpeners.
Yes, this is what we were waiting for the whole time.
These are the options, the simplest options you've got.
Damn.
These will cost less than 50 cents, and they work if that's all you want to get, is that right there. This is $35.
Yep.
It's carved
I could.
glass.
One day I could
It looks
achieve
like
my
a
dream,
pencil.
A1.
When you rotate this, it moves the end up closer and closer.
And we could talk
so
about
that you
this
get a
video.
more dull point. Why you would want more dull points? Maybe you're trying to keep one dull fat, you're controlling it as if you would on your microns. This is your finest point. Then you want to, if you wear this down, it gets down to a 0.05. Wear it down even more to where it's a nub, then it's a 0.08 or a 1.0 micron, so that can be useful for that. But at its sharpest, it's still no better than this. At its sharpest, it's still no better than the 35-cent one. And by the 35-cent one, always remember this is the standard. That short
That's right.
school pencil.
Always
sharpener.
remember.
Okay. So I spent $35 because I thought that looked cool, and I thought I could picture myself traveling with that. And it is no more useful than a $35 one. I mean, the 35.
No, Noah, this is the most important video you're going to see this
So
week.
I overpaid by a factor of 10
Damn.
or 100. So all those are going to go right there. Okay, so this one is actually, I give it a pass.
Yes,
is,
Noah.
more useful.
It's over.
You
It's over for
This
you.
is from Faber-Castell. And there's a lot of people make something like this. You can use it to cover a sharp pencil, put it in your bag, carry it in your pocket, and not get stabbed.
Like, think about it.
And,
Abstract this out. This is Shelby,
Take it out.
right? Like, in a few years.
And the pencil sharpener is not much better than the 35-cent one. Again, same thing.
Right.
That.
Hey, Phil, what's going on?
Sharpen. The cool thing is that it catches the shavings. So you can use it while you're in a place where you don't want to be dropping shavings on the ground.
I have an electric pencil sharpener, old man.
So that's good. There's the blade inside of there. I guess I don't know if that's replaceable or not. This is so cheap, I don't know if you bother replacing or just buy another one. This would be like, I think this was like, how much was that? Probably $3 to $5.
Energy vampire.
It's affordable. It's practical. So if you can live with your points, which you can if you just be patient, just keep sharpening your pencil over and over, then this one's useful. So I give it a pass. There.
He gives it a pass.
All of these are a waste of money. These are not a waste of money, but they do what they do. They only do one thing. They're a one-trick pony, and it's a short point. This is very practical. It's the same thing, but it's obviously very useful. So we're going to put the pretty ones over here. I wasted my money. Let's go to this one.
He just went to the store yesterday.
What am I talking about? Here is a Blackwing 2-point sharpener, and you see it in every art store now. I don't know if
he can deliver the information.
They come in different colors. This one just happens to be white. It has 2 holes. What do you do with that? The hole on the left.
I think Terry Moore has more books out than, I don't know, 99.9% of, like, you know, indie comics people combined.
I keep going. I can feel it getting all the wood off. And now it's just
whoa!
Now it's just spinning.
Damn, freewheeling, getting all the wood off.
And it looks like that.
You know, it's got 2 holes.
I backed all the wood off, and I have
damn
oval piece
damn
of
you,
wood.
Damn, you got to back that wood off, son.
Put it into the second hole.
Oh,
and I
damn!
Can feel it.
Oh, it's tighter. The second hole is tighter. These pencil sharpeners.
Getting the wood.
Oh, yes, you got that smooth wood, son.
There.
Ooh.
That is a long point. That point will last a long time, and you can get in there and do really fine details like the eyes and all that.
He stabs himself.
Little pattern designs and stuff. So, see the difference?
Wow. That's a longer, narrower shaft. You know what I'm saying?
And that is to draw with. That's the point. That's the difference.
That's the point.
This is not expensive.
No.
This is like $5, $7. Probably $7. Something like that.
10 with tax, we'll say.
Made in a faraway exotic land of fine materials. Very high quality, very precision. And then when this is supposed to flip up like a car hood, but it breaks the first time you use it. It doesn't matter.
Damn.
It's supposed to hinge like that on the plastic. The minute you pull it up, it's going to break. Who cares? It pops right back on. And
Who cares? $7
there are the
just
two
down the
blades in
drain.
there, and there are the replacement blades that come with it. So you
Damn.
don't have to worry about that for a while. If you go through this and then all these blades, you can either buy replacement blades from Blackwing on Amazon, or go get you another one. I have a backup. It was so affordable, I just got a backup. So this is a good one, guys. Now we're into
Get it.
like, it's not expensive, but now you're at professional grade artistic pencil sharpener. And you still haven't cracked a $10 bill.
Damn.
This
Got
one's
that
good
that
for,
10 spots on.
the airport, the airplane, blah, blah, blah. This one is the one you carry to draw with. Okay, so now we have two winners. This guy for $4, this guy for $7. Okay.
6, 7. Oh, damn.
Here's the
It's
one
in
I
there
put
for the kids.
I went for the $35 made out of, space metal. I don't know what it's made out of.
Aluminum?
And
Space
it's the
metal.
exact same points as in here, but it's a single point, long point sharpener. It's got
Oh
the
my
exact
God.
same thing in here.
Yeah, the airport one looks like a personal device.
It's got the famous
You know,
Blackwing
put a silver bullet in that.
pencil. And you'll notice that it all has to do with what's at the end of the blade. And
Damn.
this has an empty space so that it gets to the point early, and then the point goes through and it keeps sharpening the wood away from the point, and that's how you get the long points. And it has a receptacle.
Yep.
Precision machined. I mean, this whole part right here looks like it belongs in a Porsche fuel line or something.
Damn.
Not that I would know what that looks like.
Non-humble brag.
Cool point. Let's keep going. Whoop. This is why I don't buy office pencils. This is a Murado Black Warrior.
Ooh.
And I know people who swear by this.
Murado.
One of my favorite artists uses only this pencil. But look, I'm sharpening it and it broke, which means the lead is soft. And softer than an H. This is supposed to be an HB, but HBs don't break like that. So let's get this out of here. And now let's have a quick discussion about why I use Faber-Castell pencils.
Please, please enlighten
Get
us.
that piece of lead out of there. There it is. Okay. This is why I only use the green pencils. Which is unfortunate because I bought an entire box of these.
Yeah.
And I can't even sharpen them.
Damn.
My friend, my art friend, you may have these all.
He's
That's
generous.
why I use the Faber-Castells. The wood is better. I don't know if I can even show you the difference in the wood.
Yeah, show me that wood, son.
See the difference in the wood?
Mm-hmm.
This looks like white pine. That looks like a 300-year-old maple.
I need some birch. You know, where are my birch bark canoe pencils?
Let's grab one I'll really use.
You know?
The HBs. Let's keep it in the world of HBs.
Yeah,
HB
that
pencil?
that HB World, son.
Oh my God, I broke my pencil.
You son of a... Man, he's out here like single-handedly keeping the forestry business.
Feels different going through the blade.
Ooh.
Long point.
So now,
See the difference?
I do.
Short point for your homework, long point for your art.
Damn. Yeah.
Did it with a single.
Show me that
I
wood.
didn't have to do the two-step
Son.
with this was cheap, but it's a two-step thing. This is a one-step thing.
The
I
old
think it
cheap
cost
two-step.
$35. Because it's made out of, looks like it's made out of aluminum or space metal, whatever. Fantastic.
What is his space
thing about
metal?
this one is that it rolls a lot. So, and it's top heavy.
Damn.
So you might, you want to put it.
What if I
that
like them
way
top
things
heavy?
come out.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
it's kind of an awkward little beast to have.
Damn it, Terry.
Kind of like a big-headed dog, but it's really a great pencil sharpener. And this is the one
It's
I keep
kind
right
of
here
like a
by the drawing
big-headed
table,
dog.
and this is the one that I use.
God damn it.
And when I have something that I feel needs more control, I go with this guy so I can see it and get the points that I want.
Damn.
So either one of these black wings is great for the pro artist. So you can spend the $6 or $7 for this one, or you can spend the $35 for the metal one. And
I'm gonna do it.
what about the blade? Yes, you can get the replacement blades on Amazon or whatever. I don't remember. I think my art store was good enough to have these next to it. That's for just the general use. You see these big fat things right here? What is that for?
Damn.
That is for, where did you go, guys? That's for the big guys. It looks like the first grader pencil.
Damn. Give me them.
And
Give me them
again,
fat
these guys
ones.
are gonna make the little steeple point. But if you're doing a lot of drawing with backgrounds and big paper, that's what that's for. Very cheap. Everybody from Michael's to the art store has this. And you can get one that has both options. You can get the big pencil on this side. You can get the regular pencil on this side. That's cheap too. Okay, what if you use these things? I've noticed that a lot of artists that have to draw at conventions will use these because they seem to be the lead control that they want. They can change the leads out in one pencil, and they can just keep the point easy. When we were growing up and everybody was taking like drafting class and things like that,
Damn.
this was the sharpener that was recommended. You run it around like that, and then it's covered in dust.
Mm-hmm.
You poke it into the little cotton sleeve right there, takes the dust off, and you're ready to draw on your, your architectural paper again. That's okay, but again, that's bulky if you're taking it in your pocket or a backpack or whatever. When you're filling the container.
I literally have that
there it is.
exact same one right here.
And you're not going to replace that blade. The blade is actually that spindle down there, and this runs the lead around the spindle. You have to be careful because if you're aggressive, you can just.
I'm a real human boy with real human art supplies.
I found something
Thanks,
that's
Terry.
much more practical for convention, or you can just get this.
Hey, Roy, what's going on?
A little lead sharpener, and this costs like 30 cents. And you just put the pencil in there, and it sharpens it beautifully.
Yeah, that's not what we're doing here, Roy.
Like
we're
that.
being
Long point,
entertained
super sharp.
by
And you got it right here.
the lack of
Everything you're sharpening is just falling out. But,
something that Terry Moore is displaying for us right now.
So you can either spend, how much is this now? I don't know, $7, $8 for one of these now. $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $10, depending on whether you're in Utah or New York City.
New York City?
Pennies for this one. And so I recommend this one. So these are if you're using wood pencils, I recommend this one, cheapest. If you're using lead holders, I recommend this one, cheapest. For the studio, if you want to get fancy, you can get fancy.
Nice.
And yeah, that thing that's going to get dirty and trashy.
It's an air filter.
These are right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you just replace it, put it back in there. This is a lot like a cigarette filter. It seemed like you could, I don't know if it'd be cheaper to buy a pack of filtered cigarettes and just take the filter out and put it in there. So, okay, and so what is this beast? Carefully read the kanji and the Chinese instructions right there.
I'm waiting for him to stab himself with a
I
pencil.
can't read any of this instructions, but here's what happens if you start using it. So this one's the first one for the regular size pencil. You go through here and you can see that the point is starting to be exposed, and I can take off as much wood as you want.
Damn.
Like this.
Not in my watch.
See where we're going with this? we're developing one of those super long points like the artists have.
Wow.
And this will clean the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this will get into even more of the wood, like that. So now you have the long point.
That's right,
the
Roy.
super long point, like in the real illustrators. You can open this up, and on the inside is the sandpaper that you would use to finish it. Right there, right behind the kanji instructions that say sandpaper here, use it.
Oh, sandpaper, very good.
There you go. And now you've got the Illustrator pencil.
Damn.
And there's an extra blade taped inside. Isn't that cool? So this is actually very useful. Who does this? This is what the guys, the painters use these, and the illustrators that do the realistic drawings. And usually what you'll see them doing is they make their long points with a blade, and then they use sandpaper, a sandpaper block, and get the point. So this is a great shortcut to get you in that. You know, if you're 12 years old or 15, I don't recommend dealing with this every day. It's just a matter of time before you gash your fingers all to pieces, and there goes your guitar career.
Damn.
So
Because you're not going to make it as an artist.
with sandpaper is a great way to get the Illustrator point. And this was, I don't know. I don't know if these sell very well because I don't see them around. I've never seen anybody else have one, but they're in the art store. And I think they will pay you $10 to take this away. But I recommend you get one and try it because that point can be really useful.
Damn.
It's not just about the tip of the pencil, it's about the side of the pencil as well. When you're really trying to get into tones and stuff like that, you're using this side. And that's what the whole long point conversation is about. The side toning like that, especially like when you're doing first draft drawings and you just want to do figure drawings and you're drawing with the side of your pencil just so that you can be free and loose and easy, like that, right? What you don't want to do with the pencil is take the point, start your drawing by trying to draw the first immediate thing perfect.
No.
Perfect, must be perfect, must be perfect. Oh no, I messed it up, no. Perfect,
Damn.
perfect, no. Or, you know, you're drawing a human body with a ruler and trying to get symmetry, and everything's going to be stiff, like an old 19th century photograph just standing there. You want to start with that side of the pencil and get body language. Lean over like you're tired, like that. Or be jumping with your feet apart, like that. You know, you start a lot of drawings with the side of the pencil. That's all I'm saying. And then you do the shading and the toning with this long point side. So that's why it matters what sharpener you have. So, in conclusion, I don't use these cheap pencils.
Don't do it.
These pencils you can buy. I don't use these pencils. There's a reason why I'm very loyal to Faber-Castell. They hold a point. The lead is better, it holds the point longer, and you can sharpen them without them breaking. And here's another thing that you may not have, I don't know if you've ever noticed this or not. See how this pencil the wood is up on one side? One side is lower, one side is higher. You know why that is?
It's for your hand grip.
It's on this one too. It's on the Black Warrior, the Murado Black Warrior.
Thanks.
Do you know why that is? It's because the lead is in there off-center. Look at this. The lead is in there centered. This is sloppy. The lead is in off-centered, and the lead is soft. It breaks easily.
Damn.
No matter what hardness it is. These are cheap pencils that are made en masse by AI machines that are plotting your future death.
Why is AI always trying to kill me?
Machines, hand controlled by...
These are made by the Chinese?
That care about your art.
These are made by the
I
Chinese.
recommend Faber-Castell products when it comes to pencils. Yeah, whether it's wooden or mechanical.
Damn.
I've drawn all my comics with this pencil. These are what I use for my pinups and drawings. These are what I use for comics because I'm using smaller target areas for the panels, and that .05 is perfect. I like this one because it had the plastic here, not the metal.
Damn.
I don't like metal grips, they're slippery. And because this is not just a little pop-in eraser that's gone instantly, but it's a continuous feed eraser.
I don't like sand because it's rough and coarse.
Look how much eraser I have.
Mm-hmm.
So I can draw with this all day at the convention and erase with this eraser. And the coup de grace,
Oh,
the point goes in.
the final blow.
So I can put it in my pocket. And it's
Damn.
not going to stab and ruin my brand new $6 shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
How perfect is that?
We big timing with these
Faber-Castell.
shirts.
And I found it in the 90s and I never looked back. And I thought, well, if they make this so good, I bet these are good. And yes, they were. These are the best. So Faber-Castell wooden pencils, Faber-Castell mechanical pencils, Blackwing sharpeners, whether you like the pencil or not. These are the pencils.
He's saving the best
These
for
are the
last, the
Blackwing
X-Acto.
They're the ones with the big white eraser. And actually the eraser is long, so you can keep feeding it up. And these are, you can buy these. And they come in multiple colors, but the white and the black are basically all dark, very dark, like 3B, 4B dark.
Damn.
And the only one that is a little bit more normal 2B is this one, the natural. So yeah, the white, the black, and the gray are like a 4B. And the natural is like a really strong 2B. And you can control this one pretty well. So I have a lot of the naturals. This is a great pencil for finishing. These are great for finishing when you want to add contrast and dark. You've drawn everything with your 2B pencil, and now you look at it and it all looks like it's in one tone, one value. And you want to add depth and contrast to it. You want to add more value range to get it more realistic and dynamic. You can go to one of the white one or the black one or the gray one. It'll work. It's the same thing as going to your Faber-Castells and grabbing a 4B. I'm pointing over here. This is my pencil drawer. And I pity these others because they're not going to get used. The Monos, the Tomboy.
The Tomboy? The Tombow, you
The
mean?
Stadlers are good, but
Damn.
I'm not Stadler loyal, and I think that lead is different. So I'm not going to use it.
Damn.
I tried them, but no. In all fairness, I tried the others.
Yep.
So if you were standing here, I would give you this. And
Can see his whole setup
next
now.
to you, I'd give you the Tomboys.
Tomboys. Why does he call them tomboys?
I like these, the Prismacolors. These are the blacks, the Noir. And they're really good for adding any gray toning into something that has ink on it because they have a black value, not a lead value, which is grays. They have a black value. And you can do a little bit of toning and stuff on your ink drawings with those. Very good. Very useful. And that's it. That's everything you needed to know about sharpeners.
Damn.
The two cheapest great options you have are these two guys right here. You can get both of these and walk out of the store with change for your $10 bill.
Damn. I need that money.
You can get pretty ones. But
Yeah, but he's saying tomboy, not tombow.
This pencil is completely hollow. All right. Take care, guys.
Yeah, he's saying boy. You know? Okay, what other majesty is he filling my life with? You know? He's doing some sketching. Now, he doesn't post very much. 9 months ago, I looked at this video. All right. I think we're done with Terry Moore for today. But yeah, hopefully everybody's having a good night. You know, we're just working here. We're getting stuff done. You know? Yeah, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I was saying like art of boy, you'd be like, huh? Or art of bow. What's up, art of bow? You'd be like, bitch, my name is Roy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're just, you know, we're just getting in there. Put on some Jim Lee. Yeah, but Jim Lee isn't funny to me. Like, do you know what I'm saying? That's the difference. That is completely the difference. You know? But yeah. Yeah, hopefully everybody's having a good night. I'm just working on some layouts and some stuff like that. Trying to decide how blocky I want to do things. I'm going to do this format or change it up some. That's right. I forgot how stoic you were, Roy. I forgot. None of this would bother. Nothing bothers you. Are you working on anything interesting lately, Roy? Anything exciting? Cards? Portrait-y work? What are you doing? What's going on? Yeah, that's fair. It's fair. Too old to care. I hear you. Scoop some of this in. Dot, dot, dot. We'll leave that. Oh, I am looking forward to. Let's see. You'd like to see Roy stream with Matt Barr. That's funny. Just drew 50 Marvel sketch cards and about 40. About to start 40 Mars decks. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I like to see that. Yeah, it looks like a tree. Let's see. Let's find something else fun to throw on, because I'm just gonna put crap on and not show anybody what I'm working on. I think it's for the best right now. Let's see here. Let's see what I can put on for noise. Do. Random. I mean, we could do this. Would we get struck for that? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Right, see, that was such a good time killer. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. No time to draw anything else. Tops just keeps asking me on to one after another. Nice. Robservations. Okay. Let's see here. Robservations with Rob. He would 100% strike my channel. Right? Like, Robservations. No, I'm not visiting any site. Literally, if I type that in, is this going to take it to it? Hold on.
Welcome to the Rob Life.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Filled show featuring Robservations. I bring 5 decades experience in the world of comic books and entertainment.
Damn.
I am not some bystander watching the industry go by. I am a full-blown participant, having contributed lasting, memorable works to the world
Memorable?
that have informed the business and the art of this brilliant medium. If it's happening in streaming, in movies, in comic books, in games, we are talking about it, we're discussing it right here.
Let me know if he's too loud and I'll turn it down.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Rob Liefeld Show featuring...
Is he always at a hotel?
And I am here to tell you right now, we are coming to you from the road, Long Island.
There we go. Island. Okay.
We've been to Baltimore last week, San Diego. These are definitely the on the road editions, and I could not be more excited to talk with you guys, share with you guys our latest edition. It's going to be a fun one. We've including all of the incredible people that I'm meeting, which is just such a blast. I love meeting everybody in Baltimore and about to sign all day here in Long Island. Let me tell you something. Sidebar, Long Island. Stop apologizing all the time. Who
he has a baggy mouth.
This is my first time here. This is my first time ever in Long Island. And I just want to tell you that this is great. It's spectacular. It's beautiful. Great places to eat. Later today, after I have finished the show, I am going to go and partake in Adventureland. I have heard about it. I've wanted it. I drove past it. So we have made a date. We're going to go to Adventureland. We're going to have some fun.
Damn.
So I'm going to drink up. Now, I'm not sure that's all the best that you have to offer, but the people who I'm going to see today, I'm sure that's the best that Long Island has to offer. And I'm going to participate in that, and I'm going to have a great time hanging out with all of you guys. This has been just a really fun summer, and nothing is better than, again, connecting directly with so many people who share the passion for comics, like you do, like I do. So this has been a great, what is it? Feels like 10, 12 days of just nonstop interaction. That was
damn.
Came home, got some rest, did a couple days work, boom, back on the planes from California to Baltimore to Long Island, and then back home later this week. A couple of things.
Is this why his books are so convoluted? Because he's on the road making them?
Enjoy my luxury suite here in Long Island. I have not been able to see Spider-Man yet, and yet it is breaking and shattering all manner of crazy records. It's basically set to almost debut to, if not over $1 billion. This is very early here in Long Island. The news won't hit. The official numbers aren't going to hit yet for about 3 hours.
Damn.
But congratulations to Marvel. Congratulations to Sony. A lot of people don't understand that deal. Again, I shared with it again the other night. They are making 75% of this money, and it really does shine the light. And this is a business about money. You know what a guy in San Diego just said? Rob, big retailer, big giant retailer. Rob, I came here for the money. And he goes, to travel out here to Southern California, to put all these cars in a truck, to drive out here to unload, to deal with the unions, the setup, and then to, the breakdown afterwards, and the getting out of here. I come to San Diego for the money, he says. Here's a secret. We hope that the movies that Hollywood make are enjoyable and are really well crafted, but they got made and greenlit in hopes of making money. So here's the news. Spider-Man, making tons of it. Sony keeping 75% of that box office take. And yes, people, I have had people telling me what I've been telling you for 6 years. Please, you don't need to inform me. The movie theaters keep 50% of the take. But even if you're, you know, you're just taking home 500 million and gonna split 25% of that with Marvel off of $1 billion. That's not something that happens even every year, okay? Very few movies can say they open to $1 billion. Spider-Man continues to be the biggest character in Marvel's catalog. I'm not sure he'll ever truly be eclipsed. He's so relatable. But above all else, and I keep reading this about the movie, I haven't seen it, he looks great, he moves great. We've talked about it often on this show. We don't do novels, we make comic books. And looking cool, something that looks cool, that is a great visual representation, is worth its weight in gold. And Spider-Man definitely rides high on that incredible, platform of looking cool. He has always, since his inception, since Steve Ditko created and designed him, has looked amazing. And so people are saying he's never moved better, the action's better. You can tell from the commercials that this is one damn slick, great production. So I'm excited to see it. So there's that's a big victory for Sony.
Oh,
that goes on their market share. They control all the screens. That means they control trailers. Again, these movies, as a studio boss, yes, people, I've been around long enough to have met and have dined with studio bosses. And they say, you don't understand. What people don't understand is what, and he was actually talking about the competition, Disney at the time. That year, 2019, I think they had 6 or 7, I want to say $7 billion movies. And they let us know it. They wanted to let us know that's never been done before. Controlling the screens, controlling the trailers, the messaging, what gets played, then the market share for the stockholders, huge deal. But the most, I'm going to tell you right now, I've been tracking this, and I've been watching Tom Holland.
I don't read it. I reviewed it.
Thanks, Sony. And
they're two different things.
Story of
I didn't enjoy my time
because Marvel wanted to go to a 50-50 split on these movies, and Sony said, you're out of your mind. We're not doing that. Tom Holland was done being Spider-Man. I don't know if you guys remember, but in 2019, post-Endgame, no more. It was announced, no more, maybe no more Spider-Man Marvel co-productions. It took about a year for that to thaw out, and that was because Tom Holland was on the phone with Sony and then Bob Iger and said, please come back to the table. And so, again, that's where we get the 75-25, because Marvel wanted 50-50. They didn't get it. They realized this is too valuable, and I think this weekend they're learning, hey, man, if we're getting several $100 million from our investment off this, and the Spider-Man brand is shining as bright as it is, that is a net positive for them, however you cook it. But Tom Holland, who took that initiative back in 2019, and then post-Odyssey demanded from Sony and Marvel, the producers, everybody, that we have to make movies like this better. We have to make movies more the way Chris Nolan makes movies. You know, he had made a number of movies with the Russo brothers. He's made Cherry, which was a big miss, and there's no one who's going to rally to the defense of Cherry. I think that was the movie that the Russos made after Avengers. Look, the Avengers movies that the Russos made do very well. Anything outside of Marvel with the Russos does not and has not worked. It has not generated anywhere near the favor, the money, the views.
Yeah, because people keep bringing it up. Mm-hmm.
But
I agree.
Tom Holland knew enough that he couldn't do another Cherry. He couldn't afford, because that's his last interaction with them. And he wanted them to know, we need to do things more like Chris Nolan. He said it openly. He said it in multiple interviews. And so great. I love going behind the curtain. I love when some of these people speak up. And when they speak up, what you're hearing is what they want you to hear. Tom Holland wanted you to hear that he had learned from the Odyssey. He wanted you to hear what he had learned from Nolan. He wanted you to hear how proud he was to be in that production, and that Spider-Man got pushed back as a result. I don't know what the end is for this movie, but it is going to be big. We've been saying here on the show for months, I really do believe this could be as big, if not bigger, than Doomsday. It all comes down to legs and how things play. Nobody saw the Odyssey dropping in, I think, 29% in its second weekend. It had a massive hold from week 1 to week 2. That's what these blockbusters are made. Look, guys, these are phenomenons, and we all love watching them, talking them.
It's very interesting to me how, if I had the ability to tap into this whole, like, and I know there's weird Youngblood things with him, but he's got like Glory and Evangeline and like all these other characters. Why does he give such a shit about what Marvel's doing? Like, why does he give a shit about Spider-Man? Like, if this was Deadpool and he was going on and on and on about how well Deadpool is doing and like the back end deals and all this kind of stuff, I'd be like, well, he's getting a cut of that. Like, he's getting a payout. But I don't understand why he's gargling the balls of Sony and Marvel and Disney and like everybody like that. It's just like this whole thing is like he really seems like he wants that Hollywood acceptance. And it's just like, dude, just make your shit. Like, if you love comics, make your shit. Hollywood and all this other stuff is like secondary, right? And it's one of those things, like, I can't remember what artist like I'm quoting, but like he said basically, he was like, we all make comics so that, 5 to 10 years later, Hollywood can essentially, legitimize what we do by making a movie about it. And it's just like, you shouldn't give a fuck about Hollywood just because like when I was managing 2 comic book stores from like 2003 to 2009, anytime an Avengers movie happened, anytime any big movie that was like a comic book related movie, and especially in that time, you didn't have people who wouldn't normally go to a comic book store come into a comic book store. Those movies did nothing for comic books. Like, people who were into comics went and saw them, and normies went and saw the movies, but they didn't suddenly go, where's a comic book store? I need to go to a comic book store. So, like, getting excited about, like, Hollywood making Spider-Man or them making a Spider-Man game, unless it's your IP and you're somehow attached to it, because, like, Spider-Man isn't the high tide lifting all boats, right? Like, it's not the thing that is, like, going to make people go into the store, right? Like, it's not going to make people buy more comics. It just isn't, right? People are going to go play the game before they ever go buy a comic book, right? Like, millions of people will go buy a copy of Miles Morales on PS5, the Miles Morales Spider-Man game, or the Peter Parker Spider-Man 1 and 2 Spider-Man games on PS5. Millions of people will go buy those before they ever even think about buying a comic based on the new movie. It just doesn't happen, right? Like, there's zero connective tissue between comics that are being made into movies and when the movie comes out, connecting people back and getting more people to buy the comics. It just doesn't fucking happen ever. It's not going to start now. And a huge part of it is like in manga, the anime and the movie, like, the Dragon Ball cartoons and the Dragon Ball movies are commercials for the manga. They are specifically trying to get you to read the manga, and that the attach rates and everything like that are huge, because you can look at a manga like Baki that sold 100 million copies and no one here even knows what the fuck that is, but worldwide it sold 100 million copies, right? And oh no, listen, I know there is only one Spider-Man. His name is Peter Parker. I agree 100%. There is Miles Morales, and he is Miles Morales. I know, I get it. But like, yeah, like this kind of stuff actually kind of baffles me, that like this guy has been around this long, looking this fucking sleepy, and he's like thinking that like this stuff is helping him in any way. It's not helping anybody, right? Like, yeah, it's just weird.
Them, if there's one takeaway from here, it's make movies about your big top characters that have the largest appeal, and they've been on top for a reason. Okay,
that doesn't
and
work.
maybe stop trying to. Because you had a couple home runs when you were creating this chapter by chapter saga that was sweeping people in. If you believe Captain Marvel with Brie Larson, whatever the quality of that movie, if you believe that it was released not being sandwiched in between Endgame and Infinity War, if you think that without being part of that saga, teasing the appearance, the story, the continuation, you think if that movie made $1 billion by being taken out of it, you're kidding yourself. That's the kind of stuff they were capable of doing, and that's amazing. They were able to do these amazing things, but those days are no longer.
No. This fucking idiot. The Miss Marvel movie was, like the Captain Marvel movie, was set up and pitched as essentially required viewing for Endgame. Even though it didn't fucking matter, they pitched that like you had to see this movie because it was the prequel, you know, it was the setup, it was the connective tissue to Endgame. Like, that's the only reason why anybody even saw that movie. Nobody gives a fuck about Brie Larson. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, listen, I get it. I get that they want to touch the PP, but it's like, it's just stupid. Like, this is just a bold-faced, like, stupid statement.
I think Marvel has had to learn some hard lessons. The hardest lesson, the easiest lesson to learn is Spider-Man's a big deal. Make more of your A-list characters.
Okay, no. Here's the thing. You can be stupid about some things, be smart and lucky in others. Right? Like, let's be honest here. Like, he got into comics and made a big thing in comics. And there was a time when the Extreme era was, and when that era was, where they were hiring anybody who could hold a pencil between their toes. There were so many, like, there were books were selling so hotly from some of these companies that if they sold under 100,000, they were considering canceling them. Right? And so, like, that's the thing, right? Like, so if you're just if you're just blasting out books, and people, and some of those books, if you go back and look at those books weren't good. They weren't good now. They weren't good then. They weren't even good for the time, because there was other books out in the 70s, 80s, and 90s that kicked all their asses, right? But there was all this Image stuff and Extreme stuff, and it was just fucking dog shit. It was hot dog water. It was fucking garbage. And a lot of these people made money just surrounded by that Image name, surrounded by that thing, right? And for this guy, who is however old, like what's he in his 60s now, his art hasn't improved. His storytelling hasn't improved. If you read that Youngblood that just came out, right? Those 6 issues, 1 to 6, that's issue 100. Those books are not good books by any standard, right? Like the storytelling isn't good in them. The art isn't good in them. And sure, you might go like, oh, cool, there's like a cool pinup shot in this, or there's a nice headshot of a character, but it's not good storytelling. Somebody just drawing, you know, a nice headshot or Prophet jumping and punching a guy. Yeah, okay, cool. There's some cool shots in it, but some cool shots does not a intelligent, coherent story make, right? And that's my problem with it. This guy should be putting out his best work, right? And whatever, say whatever you want about Rob, but at this point, his work should be good. It should be better than it was in the 90s. It should be more like focused, and it should be the culmination of everything he's learned this entire time, and it's not. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. But here's the thing though. There's like a lot of guys who have giant penises and don't do porn. Right? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it has nothing to do with that. it's like, what are you trying to do? Like that's my problem with Rob. Like Rob, like somehow became like the kid in the helmet and a brand name all at the same time. And so just because like he kind of like drew some cool characters, or Deadpool, you know, got hooked on, and then other people made that character that he created more interesting than Rob ever would have. Right? Like once he left and that character was owned by Marvel and he had his little cut, other people went on to make that character the character that people actually give a shit about today. Not the original Deadpool, or not the design of Deadpool, right? Like there's there's a difference between, you know, somebody drawing a character and being like, "Oh, that's the design," and then other people bringing it to life. They're two completely different things. And so, like, for me, Rob is a dude who's been riding on the coattails of his past success, and nobody has ever said, dude, what have you done lately? It's all like there is no like arc for this dude. It's just flatline, and his name is what it is, and then people pay him money to do a thing, and it doesn't matter if it's good or not. Like that Youngblood thing cemented for me the fact that like a lot of these dudes are just riding on name, right? There is no quality of work. There is no like oomph, right? Yeah, but here's the thing. A lot of people like who get in the door work to keep their foot in the door, right? They don't just get their foot in the door and go, "Oh, cool, I'm here now," and then just continue as everything was. You know, you should have that hunger to keep working, to keep improving, to better everyone around you. If you've got the foot long dick, keep slapping it on the table, right? And being like, "This is the dick," right? And you'd better fucking get your fucking lips ready to suck it, because it's better than yours, right? And it will always be better. And that's the thing that these guys aren't doing. They're riding on the coattails of a dick that's 30 years back, right? They're not riding in on a fucking majestic fucking hard dick. They're riding in on a flaccid 30-year-old fucking penis that fucking used to do well, but isn't doing shit today, right? And it's not upping the game. It's not making anything better. That's the part that's incredibly frustrating about a guy like Rob. He has, on paper, all the ability, all the backing, all the like name brand recognition that he should be out there making things of note, right? And that's the frustrating thing, you know. Some people are driven to be the best, whatever drives them crazy, and then there's those who just want to achieve a level. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. I'm not saying like, dude, Rob, get his money. He can have his money. He can do his whatever. It's just disappointing to me to see somebody who has the potential to do incredibly good things, and so he just kind of pisses that potential away. Hey, Mike, what's going on? You know, and that, to me, that's the frustrating thing to me about a guy like Rob, is that like, you could be doing so much more than he's doing. He could be getting teams together and be like, "Hey, this is my Youngblood team. I got an editor in here. We're writing, we're doing all this stuff. I'm getting my ideas. I'm running them through these guys, all the stuff." My should is like an ideal. I'm not in fucking Rob's DMs and being like, "Bro, you've disappointed me. I'm upset." Like, do you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, it's what I would like to see. I wish people who had the opportunity to do good work were taking that opportunity and going with it, right? And using it to make good things. No. I'm not taking it personal. That's the thing. I don't wake up every day and go, "Fucking Rob," like, you know, or anything like that. No, it's not personal at all. It's just that, like, I like things to be good, right? I like to see people do good work. Like it, for me, it's unfortunate that the industry and the people making books aren't more self-aware, and they aren't trying to make things the best they can, right? And so when there's a guy like Rob who can just kind of show up, announce a project, get a certain amount of money, and publishers or whatever are going to go, oh yeah, we're guaranteed X number of dollars. We're just going to go with Rob, right? And it's not a thing that's elevating the art form. It's not a thing that's like making the industry better or whatever. It's just going to get a publisher a little bit of money and Rob some money. And I'm not saying that's the end of the fucking world. I'm just saying, and the reality is I just wish it was healthier, better, more thoroughly thought out and constructed. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so yeah, I don't know. I just like good things. And so when I see things that people are doing that are good, and then I just see like Rob being like, I'm just going to show up and I'm just going to shit out a book that makes no sense from issue to issue. I'm going to bring up weird story points and then never address them again. And you get to the end of a story and it makes no sense. And it's just like, that to me, I'm just like, there's other writers and artists out there who just could have done a better job. Just straight up, I just want to read cool, good books. And so whenever you get something like that and you have to sit down and read it, it's just a bummer, right? Like, it's like, I'm not losing sleep over it. I'm just kind of like, man, I wish it was good. Do you know what I mean? That's it. What's Mike saying here? You're liking that Terminal has guys like Art Adams, Andy Kubert, and David Finch working their butts off on rotating story arcs so they can keep it tight. Yes, like that. That's the thing. Like, I really just want, and like I've seen some initial stuff from Terminal, and I'm kind of like, kind of cautiously optimistic, and so I'm going to keep an eye on it, like, because typically. Oh my God. The Invincible Writer guy, whatever his name is, that's escaping me right now. He typically likes to have a good setup, likes to write well, and set up like long story arcs, and like gives you hints about things and pays off those hints and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm cautiously optimistic about Terminal. Art form. This is comics. It's commercial art. It's production. It's a product. Art form. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, Robert Kirkman. Thank you. Jesus Christ. I understand that through art, commercial art, all that stuff, you even like, I am the least artsy fartsy artist you're likely going to meet, maybe outside of yourself, Roy. Right? But I understand that, like, when you're making art, there's a science to it, right? Like, you use reds and yellows and blues and certain colors to emit and achieve emotion in other people, right? And you do that through art. Like, there's a science to the design. There's a science to the aesthetic. And you can get people to feel a certain way by the numbers, right? Like, and that's the thing. And there's an art form to that. There's a science to that. There's a technical aspect to that. And there's also a formula for fucking storytelling. There's the hero's journey. There's all this kind of stuff, right? And I'm just like, so there is an art form to it, commercial art, all that kind of stuff. Whether it's the art of manipulation, the art of the deal, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, like, no, like, but this thing, like, and there's some people who are in it just for the love of the game, and they're probably not ever going to make any money, right? Like, that's just the reality of it. That's just the way it is, but like that, I think that's the kind of thing, though, both sides of that coin keep these industries going, right? Like there's the head down workhorse artists, and then there's the kind of, the romantics and stuff like that who, you know, they have their visions and they have their goals and their dreams, and they would do the work even if no one ever paid them. There's all kinds of artists like that who just have to do the work because that's what they have to do. And so there's two sides of that coin, and in the middle, I think that like that's where a lot of it meets, you know. And I just think like a guy like Rob, who clearly has a passion for comics and enjoys comics and all that stuff, somehow misses the point when he's making comics. That's to me is the weird disconnect about him as a person. You taught yourself to draw and paint and ink, so never learned any of that nonsense. That just slows things down. Well, like that's the thing. Like, I think I've seen your work. Like, I think you understand that there is beauty in things. I think you understand that there is like a difference in using color in certain ways, you know, and spring tones, all this kind of stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure you get that on a base level, right? And so, like, inherently, you know, even if you're self-taught, you still understand how certain things make you feel. Whenever you put those colors on the page, you're like, ooh, I like that. That looks right. You know, that looks good. That pops. That pushes this to the foreground and this into the background, right? Like, you understand that on an inherent level. And so other people need to like learn that, and they get taught that. And for better or for worse, that's like part of everyone's different like artistic journey, expression, whatever fucking nonsense you want to give it. And so, but when you look at a red car, Roy, when you look at a red car and you go, that's a Ferrari, that's Ferrari red, that makes you feel a certain way, right? When you see some beige sedan, do you know what I mean? And you look at that sedan and you're just like, it's a fucking beige sedan. Like, you know what I mean? Both vehicles are going to get you to the same place. One is going to look a hell of a lot better doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing, right? And so like that's the thing. Like you look at like that is a bold-faced lie. That is a bold-faced lie. If you sat in a Ferrari or a Porsche, and then you sat in like a 1988 Renault K car, there's a huge fucking difference. There's a huge difference to the feel. There's a huge difference to like the seats. There's a huge difference to everything, right? Like that is just the reality, right? Like, yeah, like that. Yeah, I just see Roy like in a 1988 Plymouth Chrysler Renault K car, and then like getting into a Porsche and being like, they're good. Like, you don't have to care about it, but it's it's just like, you know, like a Ferrari is like a beautifully like crafted machine. Like, you know, it's like beauty and technology, you know, and you know, a K car is not that. Yeah, an old AMC Gremlin, you know. Let's go. Yeah, it's good times. The soy is great in Canada. Damn. Why is there so much soy in Canada? Oh my god. All right, let's listen to more Rob
I
nonsense.
can't tell you if it's a good story. I can't tell if I enjoy the ebbs and flows of the story. I'm not there yet. Haven't seen it. Can't tell you I've seen it, but I've been tracking it.
Damn, Rob.
With it. It's a big deal. In San Diego, the ghostwriter Ryan Gosling news was made, and a young intern at Disney was the one who called me on Friday night to say Ryan Gosling is taking the stage. The credentials are here, and I'm like, what? I kept quiet. Didn't want to blow it, but I knew that this person's excitement from meeting Ryan Gosling in person was enough to let me know that this is real. So I, told some of my family members. Nobody blew it. Nobody kept it quiet. So then he comes out. He's ghostwriter. He grabs all the headlines. Everything that I read for days and days and days. Because Ryan Gosling is a big, giant movie star, the kind of which hasn't agreed to do new projects with Marvel in years. So now they have this big, giant movie star. He's not one of the young bucks, but he is legit. Project Hail Mary has solidified himself, whether it's Crazy Stupid Love, whether it's La La Land, whether it's Drive, Beyond the Pines. I'm telling you, I've seen every Ryan Gosling movie. First Man, which was a return, the follow-up to La La Land by the director and by Ryan. He's
Yeah,
a
he
giant
did.
star. Barbie, huge. Ken is a huge component of that movie, and he has a gigantic, as you know, you don't need me to tell you this, female following, female base. Why I'm telling you this is my daughter, who has lived with me.
Listen, that's
she
fair,
lives up in
right?
Los
That's
Angeles.
fair.
She came back down to Orange County to hang out with us. She was there for one day in San Diego, and she plopped herself down, and she echoed all the sentiments that I've been seeing from everybody who on television, on streaming, on podcasts. A lot of the audience, surprisingly, are not familiar with Ghost Rider, and that's with the advent of two Nick Cage Sony productions. Ghost Rider, those early 2000 movies. It's like, wow. And a version of Ghost Rider has appeared on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So the funny thing is, this is what I heard most of, and I wasn't really expecting it. I just assumed, mainly because of the Nick Cage movies, that Ghost Rider was part of the conversation, that Ghost Rider was known, that people would be familiar. Ghost Rider, Ghost Rider. So when my daughter says, "Who's Ghost Rider? Who is
Exactly.
Ryan playing?" Well, the funny part of it is that there are many Ghost Riders. Oh, putting the glasses on, so I'm going to the search engine right now. I've got some stuff. Here's the one thing that I want to find, and I'm gonna save this for later because it's a little bit of a cold water on the face here, because this is what I'm talking about, and I'm never going to stop discussing it, because I truly believe that it's like, come on, man. I'm gonna save this till later, and we're gonna talk about Marvel's treatment of creators, and not of Rob Liefeld, but a creator went online and voiced his
Damn.
his regret, sadness, disappointment in regards to the announcement when it came out, and I'm just telling you, I just don't understand why it's not easier for them. At the time, easier for Marvel to share love with the fans, and so I'm just trying to see what this is.
Share love with the
I'm really
fans.
confused. Is that? Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't see what that was. I'm being distracted by my hotel room. Okay. I
Damn.
didn't know if he was Johnny Blaze, the Ghost Rider that I grew up with, or if he was Danny Ketch. But what happened with this, with my daughter and Uncle Comic Book, that's what some of my fans, I'm sorry, did I just call my family? Sorry, that's my family, especially this last year on social media. And guys, I really appreciate all of your follows.
Unca
On
Comic Book.
Instagram at Rob
Unca.
Liefeld, on Twitter Robert Liefeld, on TikTok Real Rob Liefeld. Okay, those are the handles that have been blowing up, and I've got a group, Rob Liefeld Marvel, Rob Liefeld Marvel Extreme and Beyond. Is that it? I'm so blanking right now. It's so early here in Long Island, because I got to book this, get this sent to my producer, and get off to sign books in Long Island. But the my family, Uncle Comic Book, was
chances are, like, here. Whoa, that's on.
Ghost Rider.
Okay. Chances are, if they're doing Ghost Rider, they're probably going to build up to a Midnight Suns. Right? Like that to me seems to be the only logical thing is they'll do like a Ghost Rider movie to lead into a Midnight Suns movie. That would be my guess, but I could be wrong. Because then you can get Blade, you can get all these other kind of people in there.
Why does he exist? And I went off on my diatribe. You've heard it here. There's dedicated episodes, especially season 1, when we were just total analog observations, okay? No video, not the same producer I have now that chooses me. Thank you, Reed. Reed Mounts, I don't say his name enough. He takes every episode and runs it through the cycle and makes it better. Only once has he said, Rob, I can't save this audio. I don't know what was going on, but this one, that was like early this summer, and I missed a Monday drop because it was too late. I was out, and he even said, I'll wait if you want to redo another one. Great guy, amazing guy. Thank you, Reed. So, back in the analog days, there's one called, I think season 1, maybe the first 10 episodes, it's called Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting. And it spoke to, again, the martial arts culture, that little Robbie Liefeld and everybody my age, all of you guys. And man, again, at Third Eye Blind, thank you for having me, by the way, Third Eye Blind. Thank you for having me, Baltimore, Maryland. Glen Burnie is where the signing in their new giant warehouse.
Store. My friend Brian grew up reading Ghost Rider.
Incredible.
Anytime Ghost Rider anything comes up, he just loves it.
Dave, who travels with me, and we've been working together for 12 years, was like, man, everyone really does mention the podcast. And you guys, we all are kind of in that same, I'm on the older side. A lot of you guys in your young 40s, late 30s are expressing that you listen to the show. The guys who are in my age bracket, okay, and I'm about 6 or 7 years old when this is happening, but the martial arts wave was noticeable because so many of the early 70s and late 60s movies that had come out were playing on television now. And I'm talking about Bruce Lee's entire film catalog. And so Bruce Lee, they would have Bruce Lee week. I've talked often after school, after Spider-Man, because I'd run home to see that. And then later, as I got a little older, and Spider-Man on UHF, I had seen every episode 3 to 4 times. So now I'm watching Planet of the Apes Monday, Wednesday through Friday. It's Go Ape Week. It's advertised in the TV Guide to Go Ape Week. Destroy All Monsters Week. All the Godzilla movies.
I think that Blade movie specifically is done, but they just added Blade to the new Marvel Tokon fighting game. And it has Blade and a whole bunch of other characters in it. And so a lot of people were super stoked when Blade showed up in that. So I think that there's a spot for a good Blade movie or a good Blade showing up with like Ghost Rider and, a whole bunch of other people and having that kind of dark team to kind of go in and be fighting vampires and doing all this other crazy stuff. I think there's a spot for that, but Werewolf by Night Part 2, yeah. You just crammed some Ghost Rider books in a bag with no boards. Yeah, that's right. Bags and boards are for the weak.
Godzilla versus Kong, Godzilla, Ghidra, Mothra, all the 5 days of Godzilla. They do, especially during October. You're getting Dracula, you're getting Frankenstein, you're getting Wolfman, you're getting all that stuff. But the martial arts week just really had my attention. And so I'd see, Bruce Lee just kick all sorts of ass. At that time, because of the Bruce Lee explosion, NBC put on a show with David Carradine called Kung Fu. And it was like a Western.
That's what I do. That is what I do, Jolly. How you doing?
The West, the Wild West, cowboys and meeting wandering into a different town every week, encountering a new challenge, adventure. And David Carradine, many of you will remember the opening with the man who said, if you can take this pearl from my hand, and it was like, you will achieve. And so there was always at least 1 or 2 Kung Fu, low-budget TV, martial arts exchanges, action sequences. It was at this time.
Oh, it's a good call, A1.
Based on Jim Starlin's suggestion that they get into this, that they did Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, which they did. Then they did Iron Fist, because that did so well. Then they did Sons of the Tiger. 3 guys who came together, an Asian, a black man, and a white guy who all had a different amulet that enhanced their martial arts. Then they gave that amulet up. That amulet was found by one man, a Hispanic character, and he became the White Tiger. Marvel was all in on martial arts. What does this have to do with Ghost Rider? At the same time, there was a figure that dominated all the headlines, and most of what he did was on the weekends. And so you would see these giant weekend events. He was put under the spotlight. You may see these toys around, and the ads were in all. I think I may have. I think I may have even shown you guys the ads recently on the show. But the name Evil Knievel, okay? He is a real life person, and because of Ghost Rider, I think my daughter's like, what is happening? Oh my gosh, Dad is putting on YouTube on the big TV. But then she's like, no, Dad, he is, these are comments, Dad, he is good looking. Wow. Evil Knievel, I showed her his big jumps, his big Snake Canyon. He kept pushing the envelope. He wanted to go in a jet over the canyon. Oftentimes, he would not perform these stunts. He'd jump 14 buses, okay, on his motorcycle, which for the day, that was a big deal. Before all the other stuff we have now, that was a big deal. This is the time when magicians had Doug Henning had a television show, and you get specials.
Damn, magicians.
Mimes. Yes, mimes got hour-long special doing this crap. Evil Knievel, this is the comic book ad in every Marvel comic book that I can remember, because this was the stunt cycle that we all had. And He came in different colors. He came in blue. He came in red. Evil Knievel, now that I'm showing this to you, I am going to want to go and complete my Evil Knievel collection and get even more of these. But Evil Knievel was a real dude. So, of course, I started sharing with you the comic book version of Evil Knievel rather than Evil Knievel, because this is what our show does, right? But stunt cyclists and what he did, and again, Evil Knievel was a dapper dude, okay? I've shown pictures sometimes on my Instagram of Evil hanging with, like, Steve McQueen, and this is Mr. Evil Knievel, broke all sorts of bones. We saw it. We saw when he didn't complete the stunts. But Johnny Blaze and Ghost Rider do not exist without Evil Knievel breaking new ground in Marvel, saying, hey, what if that guy was possessed of the devil? Evil Knievel, and you're like, hey, this is 70s macho, man. This is 70s macho, okay? My daughter, I showed her the clip of Evil Knievel going on Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson, the king of late night. He was the king of late night. At the same time, Jack Kirby was the king of comic books. Same time.
Oh, damn.
And man, if anybody can ever track down my wife and her two sisters,
my wife,
were on with Johnny Carson, and the producers told them talk over each other. They saw them talk over each other in the pre-interview, and they're like, do that with Johnny. They came out. I was there for the taping. I was in the second row. We cannot find it. I don't have the patience to rewatch all of the Johnny Carson shows. I think it was probably 1988, 1989. If you ever come across it, if you know it, if you somehow have it on VHS tape, that's worth a sketch, okay? The Creel sisters with Johnny Carson, okay? Because a couple of years later, he would retire, and then the late night wars that you've read about and seen movies.
Somebody has that. They're going to get a sketch.
And Leno, and then later, Jimmy Fallon and Conan O'Brien, all that stuff. All of that happens because Johnny Carson retires. He was the king of late night, the undisputed king. Even Joan Rivers, who was a sit-in for him, would come on. Evil Knievel comes on Johnny Carson, and he comes out in a fur coat with a cane. And my daughter's like, oh my gosh. This is what the kids say, right? His aura, Dad. His aura. Oh my gosh. Super pimp. Comes out.
That pimp aura.
Fur jacket. Sweet, like polyester pants. White shoes. Cane. And so Evil Knievel was the epitome of macho. Josh Brolin, who is basically my age. When we were talking in 2018 during the promotions for Deadpool Cable, or Deadpool 2 with Cable in it, Josh, because we're the same age, within a few months of each other, and he was like, Yeah, Evil Knievel, man.
No, this
We
is
talk
Rob
about Evil
Liefeld.
Knievel.
Some.
Evil Knievel, being a stunt cyclist, was one of the things that
Hey,
I
Sam,
think
what's going on?
Marvel said, hey, Evil Knievel, just like Bruce Lee begat Iron Fist, Shang-Chi, Sons of Tiger, and the martial arts wave, Wide World of Sports, whatever the version of ESPN, which was what at the time was NBC and ABC Sports, and Howard Cosell and all the biggies, they would follow Evil Knievel. Without Evil Knievel, we don't get Johnny Blaze, okay? So Johnny Blaze is popular in his day. That is the Ghost Rider of my day. The Ghost Rider that is in the Champions books that I love, that I've shared with you. But something happens, and here's why we're here today. Because on one of those Instagrams, and the reason I gave you those handles, during ending San Diego, I put up on one of my Instagram TikToks a post that shows a clip. And if you followed me on there, you know how much I lean into the supernatural. I think the supernatural is the thing that provides, in all of the literature, the fantasy novels, the comic books that I have consumed and loved.
Hey, what's going on,
My
Sumo?
favorite kind of revelation of why this one character was so popular, and I think they're going to hit on this. And I have a Substack. I'm Rob Liefeld on Substack. The reason I'm telling you this is I'm starting to do short video clips, and you're going to see one this week on Doctor Doom, one of my favorite Doctor Doom stories, and one of my favorite Doctor Doom stories that really doubles down on the supernatural, because we're going to talk about the supernatural. Doctor Doom not being just an incredible scientist with an advanced armored suit like Iron Man, but now imagine if Iron Man also wielded the same powers as Doctor Strange. So we are talking about the supernatural elements when we're talking about Ghost Rider. And there's an episode of the Fantastic Four when the Fantastic Four had their own cartoon series. And I'm gonna read you some of the comments from this, okay? Because this is crazy to me. This is why I'm like, we're talking about this. We are absolutely 1,000% going to give this version of Ghost Rider his flowers today, because when I read the comments, you're going to see, you're going to watch like the factor that was going on here. I didn't expect it. Maybe you didn't either, but it was truly like, what is going on? How am I the only person that's aware of this? And Ghost Rider is on the Fantastic Four episode of in the 90s. And it's this clip right here. And here comes Ghost Rider, okay? And that's, people don't even know who that, they're like, who's the flying girl? That's Nova, that's Frankie Ray, that's the new Nova. But here we go, and there's Ghost Rider, but the cycle and the design of the character, and so here's the deal. What happens in this reel is that Ghost Rider takes down Galactus. And people flipped out. What are you talking about? But this is where in some of my engagements and my who beats whom, I give supernatural like way high scale, like way high. So this that blast is Ghost Rider blasting Galactus. Okay, and okay, you see Galactus's foot there, and Galactus is like, and you're gonna see Galactus fall. We're just gonna watch this together. I'm sorry. What I'm showing is this clip where Ghost Rider blasts Galactus in the face, and then I react to it.
We're gonna get my channel struck, Rob.
Completely drops Galactus and defeats him. The devourer of worlds. He eats planets. We watched him. Ghost Rider rolls in on his cycle. But let me go to the comments here. They are of the, what Ghost Rider is that? I don't know who that Ghost Rider is. And this is the crazy pants part. People are like, I'm not sure who that Ghost Rider is. What Ghost Rider is that? Danny Ketch Ghost Rider is the GOAT, okay? And my little brain melted when I saw Ghost Rider on the Fantastic Four. Could Ghost Rider be as powerful as DC Spectre? Again, but the who is this?
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
And people just like, who's that flame girl? And the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider is the Ghost Rider that was one of the hottest characters. I know.
I don't know. It would depend on what their deal is, Roy. Like if they actually had anything set up.
In at Marvel for about an extended period. So the people's confusion of what version of Ghost Rider is that, because they didn't recognize his cycle, his costume, because uh, he was
Get to it,
adorned
Rob.
in
There you
different
go.
garb than the Evil Knievel Ghost Rider, who looked more like Evil Knievel, who rode a bike more like Evil Knievel. Now, let me tell you something. It was 1990. They announced they were bringing back Ghost Rider. They're going to launch him in their own #1 series. This is around the same time during the Jim Valentino episodes that I did a few years back. Guardians of the Galaxy was being relaunched. She-Hulk was being relaunched.
Maybe.
They were revisiting some
He's
of the
terribly old.
70s
He gets confused.
successes, or some of the characters that had scratched success in the 70s. They're revisiting them. But when it came to Ghost Rider, the mystery was this is no longer Johnny Blaze. So that reel and all of the curiosity about what Ghost Rider is this? I don't recognize this Ghost Rider. And so Danny Ketch, okay, Ketch, is the second major Ghost Rider in the Marvel Universe. He was introduced in 1990, and it was a brilliant move because it created some mystery about him. He becomes the spirit of vengeance after a traumatic event where his sister is shot, bonding with the demon Noble Kale. He is known for his blue flames, mystical chains, and the penance stare, and he was a key member of the Midnight Suns,
No, see, there we
fighting
go.
supernatural threats. Alongside characters Doctor Strange and the Punisher. So there you have it. That is Danny Ketch, and that is his story. And he debuts in the Mega Red Hot, because retailers were not used to Ghost Rider paying so many bills, selling so many copies, and suddenly we are beset by this Ghost Rider #1. This thing flew off the shelves and instantly catapulted him to fourth time. And like I said, everything is of a time, and clearly he's going to have his day again. But this issue, Ghost Rider #1, 1990, was like, I'm going to do it. Sales were ablaze. They were just leaping off the stands.
Damn.
People could not get enough. They were excited. And much of it was the writing
I hear you, Sumo.
of of Howard Mackey, who this was kind of his biggest. This was his.
He started out like on all fours, going on and on and on about Marvel and Spider-Man. Why would anyone work for Marvel and create anything for them? Yeah, I mean, now at this point, like, working for Marvel just doesn't have the appeal it used to have, right? And like, unless your dream is to play in their toy box and be able to write, your Spider-Man story or your Fantastic Four story or whatever. If you've got some vision and you're just like, oh, if I could only write that. But like right now, I feel the only reason why anybody wants like the Marvel job or the DC job or any of that stuff is literally so they can put on their like personal website, Marvel artist, right? That one time you drew a cover or a card or an issue of some book, a fill-in issue, and they just want to be able to say Marvel artist followed by their name. Will you go to prom with me? That's that is literally it. Outside of that, like, you know what I mean? Like, because I think a lot of people look at working for the, the quote unquote big two as legitimacy. Like, you know what I mean? And I mean, 20 years ago, sure, you might have been like one of the, the quote unquote cool kids who got in and got to work with them. But now it's like, I don't know, like even when I was younger, like I got turned off on the whole idea of it. I was just like, well, why would I want to go and, draw Spider-Man for the fucking 100th time? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would I want to be the guy who draws the reboot of Spider-Man for the 50th time, right? Like, it's like you can only draw him flying through the city or swinging through the city so many ways, right? And sure, I mean, you could give 10 different artists the same script and they would probably give you 10 different Spider-Man stories that are essentially the same, but, um, different enough, right? But like, yeah, I just like at this point, like I don't have any like, yeah, exactly, Roy. It's exactly like touch my PP, tell me I'm a good boy. You know, I want to be. I don't want to be the best artist my mom knows. I want to be Marvel artist. Followed by your name. Will you go to prom with me? That kind of stuff. And it is like I think there's a lot of ego and there's a lot of like what like the people who run around saying that they have imposter syndrome, right? There's a lot of those guys who are like, oh, I just have imposter syndrome. Like, and it's like, well, you put out a book. Like, you're not an imposter. You made a thing. People bought it and they liked it or they didn't. You make another thing. People buy it and they like it or they didn't. There's no imposter syndrome. You didn't stick in and suddenly pretend you were Art Adams and people believed it. And then like you signed a book and ran off and went, tee, I'm Art Adams. Like, that's not how it works. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like my thing is like if you're not in it to make money, fucking, go spin around in a tutu in your backyard and call yourself an artist, right? Like just whatever. But like the impetus, the goal, the long-term thing should be, to make money. But, a lot of people, the artsy fartsy people are all like, oh, and I'm making art and my feelings. Like, you know how it is, Roy. You know how it is.
Biggest series that he had taken over. Howard, like Bob Harris, like Terry Kavanagh, were editors that wrote. Bob Harris was writing Avengers. Terry Kavanagh would write stories for Marvel Comics Presents featuring the
I wouldn't pay money for that.
Mackey was now the writer of Ghost Rider, the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider.
That wouldn't happen.
The artist on the first several issues was Javier Saltares, but and I'm going to be honest, Mark Teixeira.
Yes, Roy, it is true. Like all these tisms and istics.
Mark was doing finishes. He was providing what is called the finishes, but I had followed Mark's work since the mid-'80s. He had done work for Jonah Hex and the Thunder Agents, and he had been all over Marvel as a penciler and an inker, and he was kind of come from that Neil Adams Continuity Comics Studios. Mark, if you've met him, is the most gregarious, sweet-natured, lovable man, but an awesome monster, incredible talent. I don't know if you guys caught his Wolverines that he did after Ghost Rider in the 90s. He made Wolverine just gigantic, just completely ripped, like a physical frame that I don't think I've seen before, since maybe semi-reflected in the exaggerated Sam Keith stuff. But Mark is a bold and incredible talent, and he came and visited Extreme Studios around this time. He came and visited, and here's a great picture of Mark. Mark does a lot of shows. If you're ever fortunate enough to see Mark, he is just a sweetheart. Apparently, he lives in California now. That's what he told me the last time. The reason I'm not showing you Javier is I met Javier quickly, but the people behind the scenes at Marvel Comics were very much aware that he was a big time finisher of that his finishes and his inking of the book was transformative. Javier Saltares was laying down the storytelling, and it was good storytelling, good page design, good layouts. Mark would come on and polish him and really attack it in the way that Neil Adams may attack a young talent and overwhelm him with his incredible finishes and inks. And the energy and I'm going to say the rage, the hostile nature of the art, it was very aggressive. And we're going to talk about the contrast of lines and what makes stuff different very soon. It's going to be a very, very dedicated topic that we go into, because I've been really contrasting the stuff that came into the Image era, and Mark was very much part of that with what he was doing on Ghost Rider, and it resulted in Ghost Rider becoming one of the hottest comics, one of the hottest back issues at the shows at the time. Suddenly, Ghost Rider #1 was a wall book, and what Marvel was doing was they were going back to press with gold ink, and let me tell you, I've mentioned to you before. So Howard Mackie, Javier Saltars, and Mark Teixeira, and some of you just call him Tex, were were
Yep, I agree,
were
Roy.
the
I agree.
driving force behind the success of Ghost Rider, no, the new Ghost Rider that came out, and it was only a matter of time, and we kind of all knew it because Mark again was so much of the look of the book that he was the driving force that he would take over and provide full art chores, which eventually he did. A couple of years early in the 2000s, Javier drew some Justice Societies with Jeff Johns, and it was great to see his name again. Because I don't know if some of you guys, you find a name, you're interested by them and their work and their capabilities, and then maybe you lose track, and then you're always happy to see them resurface. There's a couple of those guys we're going to bring up very soon as well. But the excitement that this team was bringing, Howard, Javier, and the inks of Mark Teixeira, and around the studio, sharing a studio with Jim Valentino right around this time, just starting my own. We were just ending the mutual studio that we had for a few years because I needed to be closer to home because I've covered this before. In case you were wondering, it was a 40-minute drive every day to my studio, which is not a big deal. Don't cry for me, but I had an opportunity to get one that was 10 minutes away. And it worked out just great. Jim got another studio. I got another studio. We met all the time. We have remained such close friends ever since. But we would get together and go, look at what's going on. Ghost Rider was a very visceral character. Again, I've mentioned rage, hostility, just the flaming head, the powers.
Don't die,
Definitely
Rob.
was scaled up. And one thing we need to dwell on is how cool his motorbike was. Okay, this new design of not just the character, but of his bike. That is a kick-ass, killer design. This new, newly designed, more kind of modern, hyper
Design that makes
interpretation
you
of the
feel some kind
traditional
of way about a bike.
bike. But what I wanted to touch on was I've told you guys that I had to wait early on. The minute I got on New Mutants, I asked for Wolverine. I wanted a Wolverine cable crossover, and so I was coming on doing covers in '85. Made the request in issue '86, and you guys got him. I think '93 and '94. It took almost 9 months to get the clearances because again, Chris Claremont had kind of a dominion over Wolverine as the most popular author on any comic book for an 11-year stretch. He earned it. But everything's like, hey, Chris, this is what we want to do, kind of give him a situation, and he'd be like, okay, Marvel could do whatever they want. But they deferred, especially within the X-Men family, to Chris. I don't think Chris had as great a say if he was going to guest star in The Punisher or another comic book, Captain America. But if it was in the X-Men family, Chris had a greater authorship since he launched the New Mutants and so many of the other books. Well, during this period where Ghost Rider happens, I want to show you how popular Danny Ketch was. The Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. And look, Ghost Rider he's an A-list character now. He goes to the A-list as a result of this. Todd McFarlane includes him in this great Spider-Man adventure. I believe it's a two-parter. The Ghost of Vengeance, Spider-Man 7. Todd comes right out of his adventure. Before he pivots to his next big saga, he wants to get in there because Todd's not stupid. And he says, I like the chains, I like the skull, I like the flaming head, the leather, the bike. Todd utilizes all of it. This is this Ghost Rider story is great, but it only underscores what is going on because Eric Larson on on Spider-Man also makes sure to drag Ghost Rider into it. We've got Punisher, okay, and a crossover. So Ghost Rider gets a Punisher appearance. Punisher gets a Ghost Rider appearance. The great Jim Lee cover here. This sold out, went back to a gold printing. Okay, suddenly I'm drawing him on the cover of Marvel Comics Presents. Okay, there's Wolverine in the bike reflection using artistic license and artistic tool, but I'm drawing Ghost Rider with Wolverine on the cover of Marvel Comics Presents. He is in the X-Men. I think some of the later issues, or no, maybe this is just a cover. This is a Ghost Rider, but he also is in, crosses over, and so Ghost Rider, X-Men.
Look at all that
Punisher.
blue.
I'm sure he's in a Wolverine adventure. X-Men, Punisher, Spider-Man, a couple times. Marvel Comics Presents, he's dominating. A Ghost Rider appearance is now considered an uptick, just like a Wolverine appearance is an uptick. Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch as Ghost Rider, is the sales juice that can bump up your book sales. And Marvel is about bumping up sales. And Ghost Rider was that guy. He was that guy. This is like 92, 93. So this is a 2.5-year run where Ghost Rider is just, again, I'm going to say it, he is molten lava red hot. The Danny Ketch. Howard Mackie, started by Javier, continued by Mark Teixeira. This character has caught on. People dig him. They dig this brand new interpretation of him. So when they released Ryan Gosling, they did not say if he was Danny.
He's big into innuendo.
And now they've become gossip. Columnists have said, no. We've been told he is Danny. He is Johnny Blaze, the original, whatever. Danny Ketch, Johnny Blaze as Ghost Rider, did run over 50 issues, had his own series at the same time that Doctor Strange was having his own series. She-Hulk kind of ended towards the early, maybe 1980 was as far as that series went. But Danny Ketch achieved sales, notoriety, popularity that Johnny Blaze never did. And it's interesting to me that, and eventually, we mentioned the Midnight Suns. They did a Supernatural book really juiced by him. And then the other thing I haven't mentioned,
why is everything juiced?
And we'll end with we'll end this kind of Ghost Rider spotlight here. Is because again, this is a giant flex that he is part of this and has been Ghost Rider only a brief period, but none other than the baddest of the badasses. Okay, who do you see here? He is in the Fantastic Four. He is in the Fantastic Four in a 3-part saga that they have reprinted multiple times. Okay, that's not a good copy. But here's a. Let me see if this is any good. Nah, it's bad quality too. But look how great he looks alongside all these guys. Okay, here's a good one. So they are. And in case you didn't know it, this came about because Ralph Macchio. Yes, he
the Karate Kid,
the actor, Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio. There's Ghost Rider as part of the new Fantastic Four.
Hey, what's going on, Moon Trusty?
I could compete with the X-Men books if I had some of those characters. It's nothing special to what's going on. It's just these characters. Well, he gets Art Adams to come on board. Walt Simonson is writing the stories. Art Adams comes on board. They give him Grey Hulk, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine. And they band together to save the Fantastic Four. And Ghost Rider, again, speaking to his popularity, really emphasizing that he is now an A-lister. Because A, boom, A. Here's another, when they collected it, you got Ghost Rider alongside Hulk, Spider-Man, Wolverine. The Danny Ketch Ghost Rider achieved popularity levels that Johnny Blaze could only dream of, never even came close to sniffing.
Damn,
so,
I'll sniff it.
My daughter asks about this. I just give her the evil Knievel of it all, knowing that I'm going to dive deeper into this and go into the Howard Mackie of it all. Howard Mackie is a guest of honor at the San Diego Comic-Con. When they do that, they give you a special table right as you enter Artist Alley. To the left is the long, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, row of and 6 and 6 and 6. I've been a guest of honor. It was the year I got my Ink Pot Award. The Image guys all got their Ink Pot. You get the this is about 15 years ago for me. You get the tables that are immediately up against the wall. On the other side of that wall is Hall H. So Howard Mackie literally, when he writes what I'm going to share, is literally on the other side of that wall. So I love telling you guys and going back and reliving the sourcing, because so much of what Marvel is dining out on, there is no giant Ryan Gosling movie star doing Ghost Rider, unless, and I'm going to tell you, the 70s, first of all, Evel Knievel, inspires Ghost Rider, and has, again, it's what if this, because they would call Evel Knievel a speed demon. So what's better than a speed demon? A real speed demon, somebody who bonds with the devil and gets a supernatural power. And
yeah, Rob's on the road
on that stage, but for Evel Knievel and Marvel going, we should do something like that. And then I really believe that the popularity achieved one more time. You got the solo Ghost Rider. Oh, there's Ryan Gosling. You got the solo Ghost Rider. You got the Spider-Man. You got the Eric Larson. You got the Jim Lee. I mean, he's in the Punisher. He's on Marvel Comics Presents. He's in Fantastic Four. Howard Mackey was a guest this year. He got his inkpot. He was a guest of honor. He got the table that go up against the wall, that if you broke through that wall, you're in the middle of Hall H. You are waving to everybody in basically the back section of Hall H. Howard Mackey posted on Sunday of the show, and we all saw it, posted on July 25th. Just to get ahead of this question, I did not know about the Ghost Rider announcement until I read about it just a few minutes ago. And no, I was not invited to Hall H for the announcement. I guess it wasn't necessary, but it would have been nice. I was right next door today. I've always told you guys, Marvel drops the ball with the creators. And I'm going to give you something. I'm going to tell you something that you don't want to hear.
Uh-oh.
But you kind of suspect it. Who's the only guy that they were all warmed to together, and you saw all of them, even people who had Brie Larson is not created by Stan Lee, but she would be warm and cuddly because she was told, oh, that's Stan Lee, he's the creator of all Marvel. And they all warmed to Stan. Stan became this icon, all of the all of the cameos, and Feige showed I'm going to make Stan special. At the premiere, maybe Howard Mackey will get a picture with Ryan Gosling and celebrate being part of the crowd scroll, the scroll. That's going to be a subject I hit on in just a second. I got to remember to hit the scroll. But Howard Mackey's contribution to Ghost Rider is why Ghost Rider blew up in the last 35 years. Danny Ketch, that version, became the red hot Ghost Rider that the kids of the 90s and the 2000s were awakened to and excited by. Of course, through the Midnight Suns and others, and of course, in the series, they had to visit Johnny Blaze, talk about what happened to him. And he had long hair, ponytail. You guys all remember this. He became involved as well. But that Ghost Rider in Punisher, in X-Men, Marvel Comics Presents, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, that's Danny. And he reignited the interest in this. And that is because of Howard. Howard authored this new age. Howard's going to get his name in a crawl because they're going to pull something from that story and attribute it to him because they want to acknowledge in the little, really tiny, you can barely see him and you need an article, somebody to take a screenshot and put it online and slow it down. I've been part of those. Many seasons of the last two X-Men 97. I've been part of those. I'm going to get back to that. It would have cost them nothing to have Howard and whoever else worked on Ghost Rider. Now Gary Friedrich, Roy Thomas, and Mike Ploog are authors of the Johnny Blaze, and at least a few of them, I believe, are alive. Roy was not in town. Mike Ploog was not invited or was not there that I'm aware of. If you're like, Rob, no, Mike Ploog was there. You didn't encounter him. That's why you're not. What I am aware of is that none of the living Ghost Rider people that made Ghost Rider special, Johnny Blaze or Danny Ketch, were in there. All Marvel had to do is, hey, we have a special space that you can stand against the wall. When the Deadpool trailer launched in Hall H and the cast was all on stage, I was with Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese, who wrote Deadpool, and the president of Fox, and the person who presided over all of 20th Century Fox, the president of the film division, and the executive on the movie. We all stood up against the wall looking kind of just a little off the stage, watching them. And it was very excited because then we could look out and see Hall H in excitement over the trailer. It would have cost Marvel nothing to have Howard, who's like, I'm right on the other side of the wall. You could have just said, hey, we got something special. It wouldn't have given anything away. He couldn't have guessed that it was Ryan Gosling. Maybe he's like, Howard's written a lot of stuff, so he could be guessing and wouldn't know until that moment. But when I say Marvel treats the creators like a subset, a lot of it is, and what I'm seeing more of is, the actors don't want to have that interaction. The actors don't want to this date. That may change right now. And guys, let me tell you something. We're not going to win any awards on this podcast, but just like my career, we are the number one. We are the top. We are the most listened to across Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, iHeartRadio. We are the most listened to podcast. We carry this podcast has a voice. I know all manner of people who listen and report back what was said, what needs to be counter message, blah, 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 blah. Maybe as a result of putting a spotlight on this, they will continue to improve creators. And that's all I want. You guys deserve to be created better. People, oh, Rob, Deadpool. I've told you. Deadpool
We deserve
4,
to be
I have
created
zero
better.
to do with.
Incredible.
I am not warm and cuddly and on friendly terms in any way, shape, or form with the person who now performs Deadpool. And Marvel and I have walked away from. I did not like the way that I was treated and made a decision to walk away. That turned out to be a net benefit for me, because all of you showed up for my next work in a way that I was not expecting in regards to Youngblood and all that stuff. It can happen. I am a great example, okay? Be true to yourself, stick to your guns. So it's not going to be with me and Deadpool, but when people ask, how do you feel about that? I had a decade of Deadpool. Tim Miller, I got to know Tim Miller. I got to know David Leitch. Sean Levy was very accommodating, very kind to me. I was on set of all 3 films. I had a decade of Deadpool. It filled my cup. I'm so thrilled. All those movies did well. These other creators deserve better treatment. Howard Mackey is separated by a wall from the place where they celebrated Ghost Rider, of which he is one of the, if not the most important voice, and certainly the most important voice in regards to Ghost Rider of the last 35 years. You've heard me bang this drum all day, okay? Imaginary drum, Rob banging it. The Danny Ketch Ghost Rider rocketed to popularity levels reserved for the upper echelon of Marvel characters.
Damn.
I can only show you these books. You can go try and buy these books. You can read his run. It was buzzing. It was the buzz. And a lot of you guys, as you're listening to this, you're nodding. I'm sorry it took the Ryan Gosling of it all for me to give it this focus. I saw the Nick Cage Ghost Rider movies. I was entertained. I didn't love them. They were kind of fun and weird that they existed at all. Ryan doing this is a big deal. And I'm sure they are going to put a lot of resources into it. Until we know for sure that he's Johnny Blaze, we'll wonder who he is. Maybe there'll be a Danny Ketch in this movie, and he can be handing it off to a younger, who knows? They already had the if you really go back to it, and I haven't scratched that itch, but there was
what
a
itch?
cowboy.
This itch? The itchy McItchersons?
The name Ghost Rider briefly. And is that Sam Elliott in the Nick Cage movie? Is that who I'm thinking of? I'm just trying to he was yes, he was Phantom Rider, and then Knight Rider. So Knight Rider and later Phantom Rider, to avoid clashing with Johnny Blaze. But he was a all white clad character. I'm pretty sure that he appears in the Avengers comics that I love so much when they visited the Wild West. And I'm just going to pull up those images. So this is Ghost Rider, the cowboy Ghost Rider. Okay, guys? So he even goes further back.
He's so white.
It didn't start with Johnny Blaze. It goes to the cowboy. And for those of you who thought that you were going to catch me, you didn't catch me. I was
I'll catch him.
The cowboy Ghost Rider, and he was part of a consortium of cowboys in one of my favorite Avengers, Kang the Conqueror sagas. But he started the world's most preposterous Western hero. Okay, again they wanted to pivot away from that, and Phantom Rider and Knight Rider became his handles.
Here's the thing, Moon Trustee. You say the problem with comic creators that the craft has been cut up. Who gets the credit? The penciler, the inker, the colorist, the writer? Comics made by committee. Now, here's the thing. The writer and the artist, the guy who pencils and lays out the pages and designs the characters, those two people are the important people. The colorist is just an accentuator of the art. The inker just adds light and shadow. They don't create anything. They finish, they add light and shadow, they add color. The writer and the artist are the two important people. They are the two creators. Colorists and inkers, while they accentuate and add to a book, they don't create anything, right? They just make it printable. They make it like they do a finishing pass on it, just like when an animator does something and then the person comes in and paints over top of the animations, right? And so there are creators, and then there are guns for hire. And a colorist isn't a creator, right? Like they can get mad all they want. That's like saying like a letterer is a comic creator. They literally are copying, pasting dialogue these days and putting it in the word balloon and picking a font, and that's about it, right? And so that's kind of the reality of that. Like, and even if you look at like manga, like in Japan, there is a, like, you know, like say it's Oda for One Piece, right? He writes the story, comes up with all the ideas, does the layouts, and then he has people who come in and do finishes. Like some of them do background, some of them, you know, like Oda will lay out the stuff in rough and draw Luffy jumping around, and another guy will come in and he'll finish it up and clean it up. And so the finishing artist isn't the creator. He isn't the designer. He isn't anything. He is just basically being like told to put the Lego on top of the other piece of Lego, right? Yeah, like in the mangaka's assistants are just that, and many of the like people who went on to do incredible work, like a lot of Masamune Shiro's assistants went on to work like on Gundam, things like that. Like a lot of like Oda's assistants, a lot of Miura's assistants. Those guys all went on to make these amazing books, right? But they didn't create Berserk. They didn't create Ghost in the Shell. They didn't create One Piece. The guys that, you know, the guys with the name at the top of the marquee were the creators, and then the people who helped them got paid to help them, but they were also, you know, as far as the Japanese system goes in manga, those guys who are assistants are essentially being tutored. They are being shown the ropes so that they too can go on and make their own stuff, right? Like we don't have a system like that where you basically, you know, have mentors and have like, you know, these people come in and learn the craft and then get to go out and make good stuff, you know? And so it's kind of unfortunate, but like, honestly, like there are a lot of guys who, you know, for, you know, lack of a better term, aren't getting their flowers, as it were, as far as like these movies and like, you know, like Joe Mad. Joe Mad created Blink, right? No, the author's not that it isn't at the top because like they can say like, I have an idea for a guy. Like say was it Fabian? Is it Nezka or Nezica or Nezia or however the guy that wrote Deadpool and kind of made him break the third wall and wrote Cable and a lot of this other stuff, right? He can have all the ideas he wants, but if he doesn't have a good artist to bring those ideas to life, they don't matter, right? I've read comic book scripts, and they've actually been good scripts, and I've said to the writer, this was actually an enjoyable script to read. Man, it is going to be hard to find a good artist for this, because if you don't find a good artist for this project, it's dead in the water. You can have the best script on planet Earth, but if I look at it and all the character designs are bunk, the art is garbage, that script is dead before anybody ever gets a chance to enjoy it. right? And that's kind of the problem with a lot of that stuff, right? Where like, yeah, sure, you know, if you're going to write a novel, go write a novel, right? But comic books are, especially when there's a writer and artist, comic books are a collaborative effort, right? Unless you're the writer and the artist, then it's a sole proprietor kind of project, like sole creator, you know, and that kind of thing. And ideally, like personally, like, you know, when you have somebody like, say, like a Chris Claremont and a John Byrne, like those two guys working together were writing and drawing those books, right? Like John Byrne was helping with the plots with Claremont, right? And that's why when he was able to go on and do his Elsewhere, and it was just as good, right? Like you were getting primo X-Men, you know, from a guy who hadn't done X-Men in 30 years, right? Because he was also like one of the architects of those stories, right? And so that's the thing, right? Like Claremont, as good as Claremont is, he wasn't writing novels. He wasn't out there making prose books all the time. He was writing comic books. So he needed good artists. He needed good storytellers. And artists, like, you know, there are tons of artists out there that can only do pinups. They could draw a beautiful girl. They could draw a guy being like, "Oh, I've got Wolverine's claws out," but they can't tell stories for shit. They're not storytellers, right? And no matter how good of a pinup artist you are, it doesn't make you a good comic book storyteller. They're two very disparate crafts, right? So yeah, it's one of those things. Like comics, like, you know, comics are hard, right? Like they're they're not just like, you know, like anybody can make a comic, but not everybody can make good comics, right? There's a craft to it, right? There's a science and uh, an ability to understand storytelling, you know, that's taught and learned and executed. And then there are people who just randomly do things like, you know, yeah, well, and that's the thing. Yeah. Like, but like the thing is, well, like if you go look at like Hideki Anno, he went on and he, like, you know, he did the Godzilla movie. He did, like, you know, he's a good director. He is a good writer director, right? Um, and Miura was excellent, like, you know, excellent artist, excellent storyteller, right? Like he did things, you know, with guts and berserk that a lot of people would be very like scared to do with their character, right? And you know, because they're, you know, guts makes choices that aren't always the best choices. You know, things happen, and you know, he's not a squeaky clean hero. He's, you know, and in a lot of ways he's not even like a hero, right? Like, so yeah, it's interesting. So all Bethesda employees that protested getting fired were not artists. You are correct. You are correct about that. And the reality is, A1, is that the vast majority of those people that they fired, they were QA people. They were quality assurance people. They were bug testers. They were, you know, that kind of stuff. They weren't important to making games, right? Like you can have people with, like, before there were QA testers, people who were making the games just played the games, right? They found bugs themselves. They did all that kind of stuff. But then it got into this thing where they kind of like specialized to bring QA testers in and just have randos come in and play stuff and poke at it, right? And try to break it. Yeah, yeah, things happen and choices are made. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, like, you know what I mean? Like he did some shit. You know what I'm saying? He did, like, I'm not gonna get into a berserk, you know, guts breakdown. You know, like where, you know, the things that happened to Casca, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you know, there's some things happened. Choices were made. You know. All right, let's finish this Rob.
Clash with Johnny Blaze. When Johnny Blaze, they were trying to get him going. So Ghost Rider has a long legacy. You can go back and track all of it. But Danny Ketch was the most popular. And all you had to do was get them to the other side. Please, Marvel. I understand that. And here's the deal. coming out of Spider-Man all weekend. Here we go to the scroll. I see all these people. Oh, my name was this big on a scroll, and thank you, guys. My name's on X-Men 97 multiple times. Last season, this season.
Damn.
Rob Liefeld, I'm in that cluster, that clump. When you see X-Men 97, season 2, episodes 8 and 9, such a giant emphasis on Cable. I took these from the trailer that followed shortly after I'd said that I'd seen 8 and 9 in the end of the season, and I shared that Cable is a big part. I was able to view episode 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and right after I went large and in charge and told you guys about that, they put this trailer up. And so these are scenes you have not yet seen, but they're in the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, this is the tease. Cable is a giant part of the last. Because of this, because of my creating Cable, he was not co-created. I presented him and I sold him as Cable, as Nathan Summers, as guy from the future, comes back to train young mutants, to prepare them for the future that he's seen and prevent it. His connection, okay, his connection to the Summers, his latent telekinetic powers, his connection to Cable, to Domino, to Deadpool, to Domino. All of these are coming in extended. He's not a cameo. He is the focus of 2 full episodes, just like he was the focus last week. He was the focus towards the end of last year. I will get my name in the little scroll. I guess I'll go and kind of be like the Herd, just to show, like, hey, everybody, I can show these too. I get multiple. Even at the end of 7, there's a credit that follows. But because Marvel sees how everyone goes, my name was this big on a scroll. Oh, they're like, see, and we gave them a ticket to the premiere, and they're satisfied. We deserve more. And I'm the only guy, and of course it paints me in this society. Oh, he's ungrateful. No, I believe Howard Mackey deserves more. I believe that the Ghost Rider team deserves more. I don't believe that they should be just part of a little scroll, a cluster of, thanks to these 1 million characters. We're not even going to tell you why. Put their names before the movie, just like Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, just like in 1978 Superman. The comic book creators are why you're making these movies. And they are giving actors transformational roles. Maybe we jump ahead.
No, Rob. The comic book creators are not why they're making the movies. Money is why they're making the movies. They only make the movies because they think the movies will make them a bunch of money. If they didn't think the movies would make them money, they wouldn't give a fuck. Straight up. They wouldn't even make a comic book movie. They would go, hey, where's Arnold Schwarzenegger? Let's make a movie about him fighting robots, because people like that. That's what they would do.
10 years, and the greatest role of Ryan Gosling's career is
the greatest role?
Like the signature role, the signature achievement of his career, Ryan Reynolds, is Deadpool. The signature achievement of Downey Jr. as of this time is his Iron Man role.
That's not the...
I don't believe Chris Hemsworth has a bigger role than Thor. I don't believe Chris Evans has a bigger role. Now, I'm going to argue with you that Scarlett Johansson has become bigger than Black Widow, and she has consistently proved that with her incredible box office, no matter where she pops up. So there are some transcendent, but many of them, as with Christopher Reeve, his most signature role is Superman. Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. These roles are transformative. And so, yes, I've used Ghost Rider to delve once again into why I am firmly on the side that the creators deserve more. And a lot of these families have been bought off, and it's sad for them to go and, oh, my grandpa. It's like, come on, man. They screwed your grandpa. Your grandpa fucking hated these people.
Damn.
And sued them repeatedly, again and again. Ditko sued Marvel. Kirby sued Marvel.
Mm.
Anyway, I am always going to champion creators, their credits. We deserve better than at the end of the TV show and at the end of the movie, the little scroll. But man,
like,
the little scroll.
Like, here's my thing, right? When Joe Mad signed his work for hire contract, they told him, Whenever he created anything, Marvel owned it. And it was at their discretion that anything he created as a work-for-hire freelance artist would be credited or not credited based on their description, because he was working with them. And if the writer says, hey, we need a character to teleport people, and Joe Mad creates Blink, and then Blink shows up in the X-Men movie and they don't give him a dime, it's because of the contract he signed. He chose to create that character and make that character, cool, whatever. And so now when they use Blink, he gets no money for it. Like he signed that contract and he took the money at the time. He was getting paid very well at the time to do covers, to do all this work, to do his pages. And so if he chose to be a work for hire guy, to show up, draw the comics, get paid, go home, right? And so it's up to the creator to decide what their quote unquote rights are in that situation. He just doesn't sign the contract. He just says, no, I'm not going to do it. That's why so many people don't go to work for Marvel or DC now, because the contracts are all set up so that if you create anything for them, you created it for them while you were working for them, right? Like they didn't hire you as a consultant or a creator to make things for them that you, by contract and obligation, would share the rights, right? Like there's no point in doing any of that anymore, right? That's the thing. Yeah, I don't think they tell anyone anything. Aaron Presti said the WFH was held over their head. Oh, the work for hire agreement. Yeah, was held over their heads because they did not get a check until they signed. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Like, and so, do you want the work? Then you sign the thing and get paid, right? And then after that, maybe there's a contract negotiation, or you just don't give them your best work. You just don't. When they say, hey, we need a character to jump in here, the character's name is Bonanza. And then, he just draws a generic cowboy called Bonanza, right? Like he doesn't do anything special, doesn't give any unique design, just draws a generic dude. Cool, there's Bonanza, have fun, right? Like you make those choices, right? Like I'm not like here, like thinking there's a whole bunch of like victimhood narrative kind of thing here. This is what they want young kids drawing comics because they're too stupid to know what's what. Well, but also, right? Like if someone pays you, right? Like say Roy, someone pays you to draw a mural for their company, and they're like, oh, we need 3 people in it, and just for some strange reason, one of the people in the painting becomes popular. And they use it in all their company stuff, and it's like in memes and all this stuff. Are you entitled to excess money and extra money because now that mural you painted, that was just a random throwaway mural of people in a park or something like that in their hallway, now has become their iconic mascot, right? Like, what if that happens? Do you think you're owed money for that? Do you know what I mean? Like that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying when you do work for hire stuff, like I've done stuff for magazines, I've done stuff for companies like logos and things like that. I did the logo, they paid me out, and that was it. Right? Like, and I don't go, oh, well, they're still using that logo, they better give me more money. It's like they pay you out and a lot of times make you sign NDAs to not even say you did the logo. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, if I say to you, we need a mural of people in our front park, and then you paint a mural, and one of the characters, maybe he's got a red sweater on and jeans or something like that, and then red sweater guy just becomes super popular, becomes a meme, everybody starts taking their picture beside red sweater guy in the lobby of this building, and they just start promoting red sweater guy. It's like you didn't really do anything. You just painted a guy in a red sweater. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, and you didn't think anything of it at the time, right? And so that to me is where things get murky. Like, they didn't come to you and say, specifically create me a guy in a red sweater who is lovable and interesting, and we're going to use him in commercials and all stuff. They didn't come to you for that. They just said, paint us a mural with some people in it. And it just happened that red sweater guy became a thing, right? Like, that's the difference, right? And like, and it's just work for hire work. You're literally doing a piece that's going to be, yeah, red sweater man, like, but no, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of stuff does happen, right? We've put, liens on marketing firms for using our work outside the bounds of contracts. Yeah, but that's the thing though, right? Like, if you're paid out and you sign to do that piece, and then the memes start flowing and the whatever, and they just decide to put out like they paid you for that, right? Like, and you didn't design red sweater guy. He just happened to be an extra that you painted in the thing, right? Like, do you know what I mean? Like that, like at some point you're going to kind of look ridiculous being upset. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to be, you're getting upset over painting a guy in a red sweater and then them being like, red sweater man's pretty popular. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't intentionally create him. He just happened to be a guy that you painted in a red sweater. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no, stealing your creation or anything like that. You know what I mean? There's no copyright in red sweater man. Like, yeah. Oh, listen. Like, I had a very, very interesting conversation. It was either in 2011, 2012. I can't remember which year it was. Where I sat down and was talking to Darwin Cook. And he was like, they abuse us and they will take us for all they can because they know we love the characters. They know, like, they'll take advantage of us because they know we love Green Lantern. They know we whatever. And like, so they know they have that leverage over you, right? They know that, like, as somebody like Darwin Cook, who's worked on Batman Beyond, worked on all this other stuff, worked on Parker, all the stuff, goes in and it's like, hey, we want you to do, DC's New Frontier or whatever, or he pitches them that or whatever. They're totally going to do whatever they can to get him to do the work, ride off his name, and make as much money as they can off it. That's just what businesses do. And they're going to pay him however much, and I'm sure he still gets money from doing New Frontier, and that's just the way it is. But he doesn't own it. You know what I mean? Excuse me. I will hurt you if you try to scream at me. You could get hurt messing with people. Oh, yes, I agree. But like, if you're contractually signed, you said, hey, we're going to do this work. You sign the work over, whether it's through NDA or whatever. They've paid you out. They've essentially bought the work from you and bought the creation from you. You don't have much of a legal leg to stand on if you've signed that paper, right? And whether you're naive or you just wanted to do the work and you were just happy to get paid for it, you made those decisions as an adult. And I don't care if you're a wide-eyed 21-year-old or whatever, Yeah, I know. Listen, I totally get the whole, like, thing with Marvel and, like, but that's the thing. Like, I don't understand why any creator would go to Marvel and do their best work there, right? Like, if you just wanted to go in and do something, sign your contracts, make sure, you get something out of it, That's the only, like, and I think you're going to see comics. Like, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, most things are gonna be like John Byrne's Elsewhere, right? Their Abram Books or some other company is going to license Marvel stuff, pay Alex Ross, pay John Byrne, pay Joe Mad, pay Jim Lee, pay whoever to do the projects, and Marvel just license everything out, right? Like, and they even tried that. Like, I believe it was at IDW or Boom that did those Spider-Man books. Like, they were like third party through like years back. Like, you're going to see a lot of that stuff come out. People are just going to license the characters. They're going to do their thing, make their money, and move on. Right? Like, I think the whole work for hire thing's going to change completely. I think things are going to shift more to licenses and people doing the equivalent to like, oh, we're going to pay Alex Ross to make this Fantastic Four book, publish it under our label, and make all that money because Marvel's not doing it. Right? Like, I think you're going to see way, way more of that. Here's the thing. I don't think you will ever see everything go all digital. I just don't think that'll happen. Right? Because like literally Sony who's trying to take the PlayStation, next PlayStation all digital, where they're stopping production of Blu-ray discs in 2027 into 2028. They sell vinyl record players. They still sell, like, Sony as a company still believes in physical media. They sell a modern day brand spanking new high end vinyl player, right? So any company that like doesn't want you to be able to buy things physically isn't making a record player. Right? Making vinyl players, and like vinyl players and people buying vinyl and collecting vinyl are a niche, right? So they're not going to make vinyl players for a niche that isn't profitable, right? And like, well, vinyl's been on the comeback and huge for like 10 years. Like I see people like, there's video game soundtracks in vinyl. All the stuff's been back. Like there's record stores like near me, and there was record stores like near my house when I was living in the city, right? And so like, I can drive, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes from here and 2 or 3, vinyl stores. That are exclusively just vinyl, that literally just sell records and record players. Like, you know what I mean? And so like, and I just don't think that people aren't going to be like, hey, I want, the game trilogy, I want to own this on Blu-ray and put it in my thing, or Laserdisc or DVD, or, whatever. Right. You ever work on a comic company, there's no discussion. They tell you what they want, hand you a W-9, do the works. Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, I know exactly what you're saying, Roy. Like, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people make those choices, right? Like, if you don't want to do that kind of work, then you don't do that kind of work. What's Moon Trustee saying here? Nintendo will be the last console of saying they're not planning to end physical cartridge production. I'll place it. Yeah, well, like here's the way I look at it, right? As far as like, like my Switch 2 is literally right here. My Switch 2 in my hand, majestic, right? And that's, do you know what I mean? Like, I have a Switch 2. I have my, my N64, my PS5, all over there. But if Microsoft and Sony just stop making physical media, then I just stop buying their console. I have, like, I can reach over here and I can grab this Halo Master Chief collection and play all the Halo games, right? Like, I can grab this copy of Super Monkey Ball and play all these games, right? Like, I can literally reach over and grab this Sega Master System copy of Zillion 2 and play it in my Sega Master System, right? Like, all that stuff, is mine. I own it forever. Right. And so if Sony's going to put out a PlayStation 6, or Xbox is going to put out whatever their next Xbox is called, and it doesn't have a physical disk drive on it, I'm not buying it. It's that simple. If you're not going to provide me with a way to own, like if I want to reach over here and grab this Xbox copy of Avatar, The Last Airbender, I'm going to do that. And if you're going to try to basically charge me $90 for a digital game, I'm not doing it. It's not happening, you know? And here's the thing, I literally have like a PS3 right here, right here. There's literally a one of the slim PS3s right here. Like I'm in no shortage of devices that play physical media, right? I'm just not worried about it. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Like you can hack anything. All PS3s are hacked, Switches hacked. You can do all that, and so that's the thing. If you value physical media, support physical media. If you'd like to own your stuff, right? Like don't give companies money. Don't take the raw end of the deal when you don't have to. That's it. Just don't do it. All right, let's finish this Rob business up here.
Everybody waited after the movie and saw my name yay by yay. And you're like, Rob, that may be the best they can. They deserve better. I'm not going to accept that that is the best that can be given to them, but it is all that is being given to them now. Okay? For sure.
Damn.
Yes, Deadpool Wolverine, I got a bigger, separate, great, awesome. Should be at the front of the movie. Everybody should be at the front of the movie. It's not just a Rob thing. It's an everybody thing. And for Howard Mackey to say, I didn't know about it, and I heard about it after it happened, and man, it would have been so nice to be on the other route. Everybody from Marvel was in, literally, when I tell you everybody, film, TV, publishing, internet, online, digital. Marvel made a strong presence because they know they seem shaky on shaky ground. They brought everybody to San Diego to glad handle, hobnob, as they say, with talent.
Ooh, damn.
They wanted to zhuzh up and assure people, look, we're doing good. What can we do with you? What can we do? Everybody knew about Ghost Rider, and they were most certainly, they could have pulled Ghost Rider talent to make them feel special and not have Howard Mackey saying, it would have been nice, a little disappointed. And that's how it reads, and that's why it was posted and shared. Howard transformed Ghost Rider for you guys, and deserves better. But bottom line, Evel Knievel, the stunt cycling, all of that stuff, it was very integral in the creation. Comics reflect real life now reflect comics. It's super fun. To quote Frank Miller, we should always be pushing each other. We should always be influencing each other. That's the way it is.
Damn it, Rob.
Credit scrolls, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man. This was a packed episode. I got to go and sign some comics today. It's Sunday. You're going to hear this on Monday. Maybe there's some great news that I'll miss out on that we didn't cover here. I just want to again thank you, the Third Eye Comics, for having me out. What a great, they are the number one chain. They are the biggest according to the distribution. And tied with number one is number one. So they are the biggest chain. I was able to see up close and personal why. They treat their customers just incredible. Customer service is a huge part of this. And to everybody who said, I read a couple people said, I never felt rushed during the 8-hour and 25-minute signing. That is the best thing that we can give you. And I told the people before we got there, I try and give everybody their time with Dave picking what they're going to have signed. Take your time, look at the menu, choose what you're going to get, prepare your books. Then you get to me. We have some time. That is all purposeful. We want to extend to you what I tell people, what was extended to me. The creators that really touched me were the ones that gave generously of their time and were kind and were interactive with me. So I'm trying to reflect the best of what was given to me by Kirby, by Perez, by Art Adams, Mike Zeck. Jerry.
See, this is what baffles me about Rob, right? Like he has a tremendous amount of respect for the people who have come before him. Right? And he obviously wants all these guys to, quote unquote, get their flowers. And just, is out here really like going to bat for all these people. Loves the industry, loves the creators. But somehow, when he himself makes books, that awe of their work, that like excitement, that like energy, that it doesn't transcend or carry over into the work. It's very entertaining and perplexing to me as a human boy on planet Earth.
All these guys, just terrific. I'm trying to do the guys who did me right. I'm trying to make them proud and do you right. And so we only had one guy who kind of had a meltdown in line, and I told him that stops right now. We don't tolerate that. You don't give that to Dave, and you certainly don't give that to me. One guy out of, they asked me when it was over, how many people do you think? And I said, did we see 300 seats? The store manager laughed and said, I love that you signed for 8 hours and 25 minutes, and you think you signed for 300 people. We were close to 1,000. It was crazy. It was an incredible turnout. Thank you. 41 years into this business. I am so grateful. Thank you for supporting me. I have Bad Rock #2 coming up with the incredible Seth DeMoose. We have Evangeline #1 that we had a preview in the entire comic, the same comic you're getting in the month of October. We had in July at San Diego, and people scooped them up. We still have some of those. You can go on my Whatnot. I'm Rob Liefeld on Whatnot. Follow me, and you'll be alerted when I go live, as many people do. I can't always get it to all the socials, but the best thing about it is if you've got me and you're following me, you'll get the alert when I go live, and you can jump on and join us. One of the fun things that we were moving, I only had a couple of these, but the New Men are being reprinted by 24/7, powered by Tokyo Pop. This is an incredible cover. It's a bit of a legacy story. This is by Lucas Lee Garza. Lucas
doesn't know who is doing any of this work.
Is the son of Ale Garza, who is been adopted into Jim Lee's family, and his mom has been married to both gentlemen.
Whoa!
Jim Lee, long-standing marriage to Jim, but
Damn.
Lucas Garza. This cover.
Is this the wife? Is this the wife Jim stole?
Inked by the incredible Bill Sienkiewicz, featuring my characters. I created every one of these characters here: Rain, Kodiak, Dash, Bird. Actually, I did not create him, but these four. So this is great. They had this at San Diego. I don't have any. I had maybe 5 or 6. This is the kind of stuff that we bring to the show. Really cool. Lucas Lee Garza crushing it. This is really great. I was so excited when he did this cover and they showed it to me. So Newman is coming out, reprints of the original material, story by Rob Liefeld, Eric Stevenson, Jeff Matsuda, John Sabal, all of us. Some really fun adventures. They have been, the Newmen have been in recent issues of Youngblood, Giant Size Youngblood #1, and they were part of the Youngblood 100 storyline. So that's the kind of stuff, that silver foil, which was a San Diego exclusive. I had a couple. I shared them with you. I'm so glad that you guys reacted the way you did. So look for that, including, again, like I said, Bad Rock 2, Evangeline. More Youngblood is on the way. If you want an advanced copy of Youngblood 101, go to my website. We've still got orders up for 101. You're going to get that in September. The rest of the world probably won't get that till 2027. I'm waiting out the holidays and the craziness. If you guys
really
knew,
why is that?
You guys love to know about the business I'm going to share with you right now. Everyone in publishing, no matter what company, no one gets special treatment. Everyone know the printers are very adamant. All the printers, they take 2 to 3 weeks off during the holidays, especially if they are in other countries like Canada, other countries. They take Canada, Mexico, China. Everyone is printing for us. They take an extended vacation.
That's right. See, Noah, Canada, Mexico, China.
Holidays is where we get recharged and where we relax. And to get your books out in December, you practically have to have them in early November, and then even for January, you have to have them in by December 2nd. Last year, Youngblood 2 and 3 and 4 fell into that cyclone. this year, when Youngblood comes back, and Youngblood 101 is a great jumping on point, a great single jumping on point. Badrock #2 is the second Airborne story that I am offering you. If you're not familiar with Airborne, H-E-I-R, as in your heir, you're an heir to the throne. Airborne, there is a secret, because I haven't promoted it, but it's on press now, in Badrock 2, which expands our story. And Airborne is a project you're going to see a whole lot more from me, including Youngblood and all the other stuff that I am producing. Guys, I have never felt more alive making comic books, and I just want to thank you for supporting me.
Damn.
Again, Whatnot Rob Liefeld, you'll be alerted when I go live. I've given you my socials. What I want to do to end the show is to just wish you all the best. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for coming out to these signings. All the great people I met in San Diego, all the great people in Baltimore, all the great people I'm going to meet today in Long Island. I just thank you so much. I hope very much that your summer, as we enter in August, now we are in August, I hope that with everything going the way it's going, last real month, they call these the dog days of summer. We're down to WNBA, which is I'm digging, I'm loving. And
get it? What?
Baseball, big trades. The Dodgers made a big trade.
He just said WNBA. What is happening?
In the dog days of summer. That sun is going to hang high in the sky for one more month. And please get out, enjoy it. Change your point of view. If you're frustrated or things aren't going your way, take a shift. Get off the grindstone. Take some you time.
Touch some grass, everybody.
Go to the lake. Go to the pool. Grab a dinner, a meal, a coffee with some of your friends. Reconnect. Call somebody. Give love. Receive love. Okay, that's how it goes, man.
Damn, Rob.
We met the nicest lady checking our bags.
Generous reach arounds.
Jumping,
Go get some.
LAX to Baltimore, Baltimore to Long Island to California to the rest of the week. But in all our travels, all summer, and we're going to travel some more, you meet all different manner of people. There was a guy on our flight. The attendant was just nasty on one of the last flights. So nasty that I was laughing. In the second row, I was just laughing at how nasty he was to everyone. He reveled in the power, and I just could not stop. I was giggling nonstop, and I just wanted to signal him. At one point, I think he was looking at me like, is he making fun of you? I go, dude, I am just loving how much you enjoy your job, because his job and what that meant that day was beating people down just right and left. He has power. They can throw you off a plane. They can put you on a list that prevent you from flying ever again. These dudes, do not mess with them. It was with other people, and I'm going to tell you, he was mouthing off to 70 and 80-year-old ladies. And yes, they can't have their stuff in front of the bulkhead. I get that. But you can maybe be nicer about it. Why am I telling you this? Dave and I are checking our bags in to this very just energetic lady who checked us in yesterday. And I said, man, I just really love your energy. Thank you for the great energy. And she goes, hey, man, I'm all about giving love back. Dave and I were standing right there. She goes, my job is to give love. I'm just trying to give love, and that's how I live. That's how I lead with. And I'm like, man, we appreciate it. I can feel it coming off you, and it makes me feel better, and it made Dave feel better.
That's right, guys.
This is what I'm talking about. This woman has made a choice.
Get out there, lead with love.
Grabbing bags, giving people passes, checking your stuff through. She is positive. She is, the way she's talking in her interaction, she is giving love. Give love, receive love. We're always rooting for you. I did this on my MacBook. There is no Blue Yeti mic, so let's imagine it. 2 fists into my imaginary Blue Yeti mic, wishing you all the best. Take care of yourself. I hope your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual self are exactly where they need to be. We are always lifting you up, thinking of you. Take care of yourself. I'm not going to be out here, but when I get home, I'll be back. The shade, swing by, get me, door open, slow down a little so I can jump in that car with you. We are going to absolutely, most definitely, and a couple of you said this to me at the signing at Baltimore when you left, you said, we will inevitably talk again. They said, we'll inevitably talk again real soon.
All righty. That was Robservations. I like it. I like it for you. I like it for me. I like it for everybody. You know? And with that, that's going to do it for me. We're coming up on 3 hours of top-notch, top-quality Tuesday entertainment. We got to see how important pencil sharpeners were. The types of pencil sharpeners, very important. Now we got to see Rob's somewhat terrible takes on a lot of things. And, you know, like, just like Rob, I'm gonna leave you with this. You know what I mean? Like, everybody go out there, lead with love. You know what I mean? Just gonna be out there, you know, give love, receive love, lead with love. All right, everybody, have a good night. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
I don't know, you and me are like Coke and icy. Coke and icy. Together, two and two, it will become yummy. Oh, so yummy. You want me, make you happy. I need you right now, hurt me. Love is okay, but not in a homo way. No homo. I know this, sometimes see we do talk like a baby. Talk like baby. Finally, I know this, you love me like you love mommy. Love your mother. Coca cannot live, I see. Love you like sugar daddy. Motherfucker. Love is okay, but not in a homo way.
Women.
I am not that bad. I ain't got the Japanese. Maybe on the